What is up? I like how Lane, the moment we started, he's like, let me get that creepy laugh in. What is up, everybody?
Creepy laugh.
Yeah, you're like, That's how we started it off.
Well,
Everybody do it. Get it out of your system.
well,
Everybody
Giggity,
do it.
giggity, giggity.
no, now we're sounding like freaking Wario and Waluigi.
Hey, I'm cool with that. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live. I love all of the Mr. Freeze quotes people are throwing in chat. Great way to start the stream. But guys, we have a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm happy to say there's a little bit of something for everybody tonight. There really is. There's just so many different figures to talk about, so really excited to get into it. Guys, we will have a smaller panel tonight, and that honestly is for good reason. Some couldn't make it, but the more Ryan and I were talking about it, I'm like, dude, there's so much to cover. It'll be nicer to have a more engaging conversation with a smaller panel tonight. So of course, I want to get started by saying what's up to everybody on the panel. And then I'm going to say what's up to some people in the chat. First off, of course, we have Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles making us all jealous with the Mars Toys 66 Joker just right there in our faces. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I appreciate being here as always Thursday night. Couldn't think of a better place to be. I really thank you guys, and looking forward to talking about some stuff.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And Ryan, we're going to be talking about some Ghostbusters tonight, your baby. We're going to be talking about some Ghostbusters.
I'm going to fire up the proton pack, actually. Let me go charge it up and get it ready.
You're going to have to. You're going to have to. Once we start talking about them, I expect the pack to be on. So we're going to hold you to that, dude.
Man,
of course, next, guys. Right, do it. You might as well. Of course, guys, next we got our boy Lane. Everybody drop those Lanes in the chat. Lane will be leaving us a bit early tonight, but Lane's like, dude, I had to be here to talk about Jesse because Lane is really excited, like many of us, to check out Jesse. So, of course, we're going to get started talking about Jesse once we get into the figures for tonight. But Lane, it's awesome to have you here as always. Great to have you here with us, and I'm sure you're really excited to talk about Jesse with us.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited to be here as always on Thursday nights with some of the best of the 6 scale community. Join us in the chat as always. And we got, like you said, where we've been kind of in dead zone for like the previous month. Well, fellas, we can safely say that's over. Yeah. Get ready, because probably over the next 6 weeks or so, as Mando starts to wind down, Howie and the Hot Toys Brigade are going to come riding in there on their speeders to overwhelm us with coming out figures and new releases coming ready to kill our wallets.
Yeah, and May 4th is right around the corner, guys. So
exactly.
We told y'all enjoy that break while it lasted, and then unfortunately your break has ended because there's a lot of stuff coming, and we're going to talk about it. Everybody who's got stuff coming, not just Hot Toys, of course. But again, great to have you here as always, Lane. And then finally, guys, until Chris joins us collecting madness are at around 8 o'clock EST, our final panel member for now, last but certainly not least, Sean, the Hot Toys Nightmare. Sean, it's great to have you here as always. And of course, like I was saying to Lane and Ryan, there's some really exciting stuff to talk about, and I know you're excited about quite a bit of it. So it's awesome to have you here as always, Sean. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts on a lot of this stuff, because some of the stuff I have not talked to you about yet. So I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, thank you for having me and tolerating me and with everything that I do on your channel.
It's a pleasure, Sean. There's no tolerating. You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Everybody out there in YouTube viewerland, hello. Good to be here. Thanks for tolerating me as well.
And guys,
Lane's a real star of the show.
He is.
Well, I'm just waiting because I just feel like as Sean is saying that and Connor is going, yeah, it's great, man. Everything's good. There's a little voodoo doll of you with like, he's just waiting to get some like hair or something like this thing on there.
Of course not, Lane. Of course
randomly
not.
start having, back pains all
I might look, Lane, I might not have a voodoo doll off camera, but I do have some WD-40. Because guys in the chat, I'm sorry to report the squeak is back in Sean's chair. So we might have to bust out the WD-40 again. So that's what I have off camera. Not a voodoo doll. Because Sean's good to me. I wouldn't do that. But I would let him borrow some of my WD-40 for his chair. So guys, if you hear any squeaking, unfortunately the chair has returned. Somehow the chair has returned. We thought we snuffed him out for good, but he's back with a vengeance, so.
Actually, I ran out of WD-40.
Yeah, so guys, we're gonna start a fund just to get Sean an unending supply of WD-40 specifically for the stream. So
Yeah, it might be easier if you guys just go buy me a new chair.
I think it'd be funnier. I think it'd be funnier.
You're
to
gonna
get
go fund me for a share.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, all of a sudden, like, there's
What-
like,
what-
I'm getting cases of WD-40 showing up, and then all of a sudden I'm on some like FBI watch list or something. What do you need all this WD-40 for?
Oh, yeah,
I
I
just have a good fan base.
I'd rather have one nice chair.
Sean, the Nightmare just needs to get better. Just get where he can get more rhythmically squeaky sounding, and he can start squeaking the Imperial March. And that can
Maybe
be like
one
the
day it'll
lead-up
come to
the
that.
show.
Hang on.
All right.
No, it sounds more like no. Long way to go. Long way to go.
We'll practice that, but we're going to say what's up to some people in the chat. We got a lot of people already in the chat. 24 people here, guys. Thank you so much for those of you who are just coming in. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, as always, we got my boy Insane One in the chat, dropping that soon. Always got to be the first one. We appreciate you, bro. And then there's me saying soon indeed. Gotta love it. Appreciate you being here as always, Insane One of the best moderators in the galaxy. Payton23 is here. He says, what's up, fellow collectors? What's up to you, Payton? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Always awesome to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And then my boy CSI is in the chat, dropping that Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze quote. Cool party. All right, everyone, chill. I love it. Love these Mr. Freeze quotes, guys. You guys know how I am with Mr. Freeze. Let's see. We got KTHW. It says, what's up, everyone? What's up to you, KTH? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you as always. Great to have you here. 12-inch Moose Stream in the chat says, hello, community. Hello to you, 12-inch. Always great to see you, as always. Awesome to have you here. My boy Matt, another one of our great moderators here, says, hello, fellow collectors. Hello to you, Matt. Awesome to have you here, bro. Not a Hot Toys Hotline stream without you, so it's great to have you here. And here's Matt, already busted my balls. We're not even 5 minutes into the stream, and he says, Connor likes a more intimate panel. Yeah, I mean, hey, when the information's a-flowing, you know, you got to have a smaller panel. Leighton is in the chat. Leighton says, yo, what's up, Leighton? Good to see you as always, bro. Great to have you here. My boy, OG Fan, is in the chat. OG dropping the links early, too. We appreciate you, man. Dropping all the links. Guys, of course, as always, check out the links to everybody's channel. Our moderators are constantly dropping them in the chat. We very much appreciate that. And 12-inch Moose Stream says, I got my 66 Joker yesterday. Great figure. Congrats on that, dude. From what I've been seeing, it's very, very impressive. So I'm excited to get it for myself one day. And I'm really happy for all my friends who are able to pick it up. Because I know right now a lot of people are really, really wanting that figure. And they're waiting on some additional batches from 1/6 Kit and such. We got 1/6 Star Wars Pimpazoid in the chat. He says, waiting on Sideshow to ship my Mando Luke, Mando Ahsoka, and Jesse. You're waiting on quite a bit, dude. I hope you get your email soon. I did get my email for Mando Ahsoka, but unfortunately not for Jesse, and that was a day one, and I had him paid off already. But I did get it for the Clone Pilot as well, so I can't really complain. But I hope you get your email soon. That's awesome. Control Alt Elite here as always says, morning all, was busy in the morning. I almost forgot. Well, hey, thank you so much for remembering and making it out to hang with us live. We very much appreciate it, and it's awesome to have you here as always. And then Insane One says, feed the algorithm. Leave a like, take a sub to the Hot Toys Hotline and these awesome panelists. Yes, guys, if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel and drop a like on this stream. I very much would appreciate that. Joshua Alvarez is here. Joshua, I hope you're doing well. He says, my 66 Joker came in. Congratulations on that. I hope you enjoy it. Let us know what you think of it in the chat. I would very much like to hear that. We got Eric in the chat as always. Eric, what's up, dude? He says, what's up to this all-star panel? Hey, we appreciate that, man. And what's up to this all-star chat? As always, got the best chat in the biz here with us. My boy Boba Fettuccine says, what's up, cool people? What's up, bro? I hope you're doing well. Great to see you as always. Always awesome to have you here. And I think that's about it. If anybody I missed, definitely. Oh, we got Sneaker Game in the chat as well. Sneaker Game, what's up, dude? I hope you're doing well. But guys, if I miss you, don't worry. I will see you as you type throughout the stream. But we're going to get right into it. As I said, Lane is on a time crunch, and I know you guys don't want to see me talk much more. You want to see about this this Clone Wars Season 7 Jesse. Now, guys, for me, when it comes to the 501st Troopers, this is really a top tier release for me. If I had to make a list of 5 troopers that I would want from the 501st Battalion, Jesse would be on that list. I did get my Echo, unfortunately not the ARC Trooper 501st Echo. However, that's another one on my list, guys. I would love to see an ARC Trooper Echo and an ARC Trooper 5s to kind of complete that trio. We got our Rex. Rex is the golden boy, but guys, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. This figure looks absolutely incredible. I think they did a great job. Let me skip forward a little bit because this is a little too slow for my liking, but I think it looks great. Now, I've seen some people point out a couple like minor inaccuracies, like, oh, the lines on the helmet aren't correct or what have you. But for me, guys, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, this looks pretty fantastic in my opinion. I think they did a great job, and I'm excited to see a close-up. Exactly, it looks like Jesse, and I'm excited to see a close-up of the sculpt because obviously Jesse has a very unique sculpt because he has that tattooed Republic logo on his head. So I'm really excited to check that out. We also have Austin Nicholas in the chat says, hey, y'all, what's up, Austin? I hope you're doing well, bro. And then we got Logo Lou saying, what's poppin', people? What's up, Logo Lou?
Hey, Lou.
I hope you guys are doing well. It's always awesome to have you guys here. I hope you guys are having a great night. I know we are. We're excited to talk about some stuff. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited for this Jesse. Like I said, unfortunately, I did not get my email. For those that aren't aware, as someone mentioned in the chat earlier, emails were sent out for this figure. It seems like the first batch was relatively small. I feel like I saw more people get the Clone Pilot emails over this one. So if you did get this shipping notification for this guy, definitely let us know in the chat because I know a lot of people are also not only being charged but getting their shipping notifications for this guy.
Well, Jesse might be less made than even the Clone Pilot too, possibly.
And, you know, Lane, and that's a very curious point, right? Because Jesse has been on pre-order much longer than the Clone Pilot, and obviously the Clone Pilot is waitlisted, so obviously that would be an interesting thing to be able to see those numbers. Obviously, we'll never be able to see that, but a very interesting point. And guys, because we have a smaller panel, I'd love to kind of have an open discussion. We don't really have to go through everybody individually. So anybody really, if you'd like to share your thoughts on Jesse, I don't want to take the spotlight. But for me, guys, again, I had this one on pre-order. I'm just waiting for my email. I'm really, really excited. I think he looks fantastic. But would anyone else like to share your thoughts on the ARC Trooper Jesse?
I just pulled the trigger.
Well, real fast, I'll cut Lane off, actually. I'm not a clones person, so I'm actually going to stay mute this whole time. So therefore, I pass the shoot. You guys can talk.
They're getting the pitchforks in the chat already with that one statement right there. I'm not a clones person. But Lane, you just pre-ordered this guy.
No, it's not. I'm doing other stuff, but I will keep my mouth shut for this segment pretty much.
Well, no, Ryan, though, but for you, I mean, even though you're not a clone guy necessarily, I mean, the armor and all that stuff. Have you watched Clone Wars and stuff?
No.
In the past?
No.
Okay.
No.
To me, one of the reasons I love this guy is it's our first like ARC Trooper. Even though we had Echo Bad Batch had some of the ARC Trooper armor pieces to it, and obviously even like the Poltroon and stuff with Rex. Mm-hmm. This is kind of the first full ARC Trooper we've gotten. And in the chat, have we had any other 1/6 scale other than when we had the ones from Sideshow with like the 5s and Echo and all those? Is this our first like full ARC Trooper armor?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the reason, Lane, why those Sideshow ARC Troopers are so expensive, right? People are kind of impatiently waiting, I should say, at this point for Hot Toys to announce some more. So I think that's why this one's very special.
I think that he has literally, I think, one of my favorite helmets, just with the dark blue and the full insignia on the front, which obviously matches up with the head sculpt. I love the Poltroon, the color combination. Like, it fits the 501st, but there's enough distinctiveness with like the gray and everything that it allows him to kind of be his own look too.
Right.
Jesse also, he has one of kind of the saddest fates in the end of season 7, just from the Siege of Mandalore arc, from where you see where he literally goes from one episode to the next almost, with like Ahsoka Tano and stuff. I know that they were saying some of the inaccuracies, like with the side here on the helmet and stuff. I think this guy is kind of, and Sean and you guys, I think this guy could be kind of a sleeper. Now, I'm talking years down the road. This guy could be a sleeper figure of clones that is kind of sought after, because we may not get many ARC Troopers. We don't know, necessarily. We can never 100% say without Sideshow decides to do what they're going to do. I mean, I'd assume we might get, at least maybe an Echo or something, since they've already done, him already as a Bad Batch. But I think this guy could be a sleeper figure that people look for down the road.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think, I honestly think, obviously this is in the far away future, but I think a lot of the named clones in general will be very sought after. I mean, and we've seen that with Sideshow. And of course, it's going to be time being the biggest factor, right? So, I mean, they're producing many of these right now, and they're so fresh on the market. We don't know what they're going to be selling for down the road. But of course, yeah, I could see this being a chase figure. It's a named clone and a very beloved named clone at that. So I could certainly see a lot of people
And he has a very
searching this
unique
one.
look to him. You know, he has a very
Yeah.
unique look too that's specific to him. I mean, we've seen Cody. I mean, you know, maybe not $500 or something like that, but he's been a clone figure that is still sold pretty well. You know, sells
Right.
pretty well even now. So Jesse may be that kind of, you know, thing where he's, you know, a $350, $400 figure. You know,
Yeah.
down the road, which
For
for
sure.
a guy like him would be.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I am actually surprised they started with Jesse though for the ARC Troopers. And if you really think about it, they should have started with Fives because he's the most popular one out of all the ARC Troopers.
By a
However,
long shot, yeah.
they've mostly for clones, they've mostly stuck with season 7 from the Clone Wars. And that's really it. Because Ahsoka's appearance, season 7, Darth
Yeah.
Maul's appearance, season 7, Captain Rex from season 7, you know, the 501st, the along with the Coruscant Guard, Captain Vaughn.
Yep.
They're all from season 7.
Did we see with the Barks and stuff in season 7? Like for a short thing or anything?
No, the Bark Speeders are throughout other seasons, but there's no. The only Sergeant Appo there is during the Clone Wars is when they're on Umbara. That's the only time, and that's a sergeant, not a commander Appo
Yeah.
at the time, and he's not wearing a pauldron or anything like that at all. He looks like a regular 501st clone with just like an arrow on his helmet, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would make him look different than that, but I mean, because he looks like the one that Hot Toys made looks like the Hasbro figure they made for Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. And Sean, you make a good point, and I think the main reason they decided to focus on the season 7 branding and such is I'm sure you all remember when Clone Wars season 7 hit and it was like the return of Clone Wars and we saw updates to the animation and everything. That was like there was a lot of hype behind it at that time. So I'm not surprised that Hot Toys kind of used that as their in to start doing clones again, because obviously when Hot Toys releases stuff, a lot of it is based on relevancy, right? And that's why we're always begging for 80s stuff, right? Because we know that Hot Toys has to stick to a certain release schedule when it comes to new Marvel content and new Star Wars content. So I think you make a good point there. That was kind of their opportunity to be like, hey, all right, well, you guys have been asking for clones forever. Here's our opportunity to get back into that clone market. So, and I'm glad to see, and Matt kind of brought this up, and I don't want anybody to forget about this. I know us on the panel haven't. We still got plenty of Tartakovsky 20th anniversary Clone Wars stuff coming. I'm sure of it. It may conflict a little bit with the Return of the Jedi stuff that they're preparing for May, but you never know when that stuff's going to come out. So I still think we have plenty of opportunity for clones from that line. So don't forget about that either. I want to say what's up to some people. We got Doug Collector in the house. What's up, party people? I like it. I hope you're doing well, dude. Great to see you as always. We got Oilers Workshop saying Yabba Dabba Dark Side. Love it, man. It's funny when you say that. It reminds me of the jokes Cigars was making the one time about Ryu's feet, saying Yabba Dabba Duke. And there you go. There's the Fred Flintstone feet on Ryu right there. And 16 Star Wars Pimpazoid says you should check out Art 15 Custom. I actually am familiar with Art 15 Custom. He says they have all kinds of 16 clones for sale. Yeah, I mean, they do really cool stuff. It's difficult to get into the custom clone thing because, you know, unless you're 3D printing and painting the parts yourself, it gets kind of expensive. So me personally, I usually err towards the side of I want to see what else comes out from Hot Toys in an official outlet as my Ryu's about to fall over. So me personally, I don't really get into the custom stuff too much, but yeah, that's certainly a great outlet if you're looking into some more custom stuff. Sluggin16 is in the chat. He says, "What's up, Hotto?" I guess that's a new nickname for Hot Toys Hotline. I like that, Hotto. Instead of Watto, I'm Hotto. Oiler says, raise your hand if you're pissed at Filoni for making your wife cry at the season finale of Bad Batch. Well, raise your hand if you cried once again when Luke returned to the Mandalorian. I'll raise my hand for that. I told you. They got me with that one, dude. Peyton, yes. They're kind of a match made in heaven, right? I mean, you got Captain Rex next to Jesse. And like Sean said, Jesse had kind of a sad, or it was either Sean or Lane. It may have been Lane. Jesse kind of had an unfortunate end in season 7 of the Clone Wars. So I want to relive the good times, right, with Jesse. So I don't want to put him in fighting against Ahsoka and Rex. I want to have them together, part of a unit again. So that's what I'm going to do with mine for sure. Slugging 1-6, you should have just owned up to it, dude. You should have just owned up to it, man. He said it was a typo. I'll pretend you didn't say it was a typo, and we'll just say that was a cool nickname you came up with. Looks like Lou is relating to that as well. Yeah, for sure, man. Some very emotional scenes indeed.
Yeah. The one thing I guess they show here is going to be the one limitation for Jesse, but I mean, it's not like it's new necessarily to Troopers, is because of the extra little length of his front armor plate there that goes right, you're not going to have any forward crunch really too much with him, if at all. That's the one limitation, I think, Tim. But otherwise, he looks, pretty flexible. Like, I mean, probably maybe at least as good as a Coruscant card. Obviously, maybe a little upper body, a little bit more restrictive. Like Rex has some restriction to him because of his pauldron and stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of typical with the clone armor, right? It's like for the most part, most of it's like similarly posable. And guys, those who are curious that haven't picked up this figure yet, he is $285, so he is on the pricier side when it comes to clones. But of course, he does have a head sculpt and it's a name clone and everything. So I mean, me personally, this is a figure that I've wanted for a long time, so I'm willing to put out that money, and I have because I've already paid him off. But definitely take advantage of any deals you can get on this guy because I know some comic shops and such still have him in stock, and usually the figures are cheaper through there. So definitely take advantage of some deals and stuff. But yeah, guys, I mean, there's really not much to say about it. It's another 501st clone that seems to be done very well. I very much enjoy the head sculpt. I think this is one of the better Tamara Morrison head sculpts that they've done. And I think it looks pretty good, man. I'm really excited to see the head sculpt in person. Yeah, and it looks very posable, all things considering. Again, we know kind of what to expect typically from the clones. And I think this one has similar, if not slightly better articulation than some of the others. So I'm really excited to check it out, man. I wish I would have got my email, but like I said, I can't really complain. The collector, I saw some people saying that they're shipped today, so don't quote me on that, but I did see some people saying that, so I'm going to take their word for it until proven otherwise.
As we're going to talk about, Connor, there's going to be a lot more. Don't worry. If you're a little delayed for this, you may have 2 or 3 things come to say.
I'm still waiting on my DeLorean email. Thankfully, I paid that off for that. Jumps out at me and scares me.
I'm still waiting for my place to get the Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
And that's from, I mean, that's the thing is we've got all the stuff we're talking about tonight from relatively in the last week or so, not including stuff like you were saying, DeLorean and other stuff that's from going on even a couple months ago now has been released in Hong Kong. We're going someday over the rainbow. We're going to get 5 payment notices all on the same day or something. I
can see it happening. And I love this from Payton. He says, he did cry. I almost cried. Almost got me when Han Solo was killed off. Honestly, dude, for me, like, I already knew that Harrison Ford wanted out of the series, so it wasn't really that emotional for me because I'm like, they're going to do it. I just had a feeling they were going to kill. A lot of us did, a lot of us knew that Harrison Ford was done with Star Wars, so I had a feeling he was going to be killed off in some. So, like, when you're prepared for something like that, it's like, it didn't really catch me off guard. It was different when I saw Luke Skywalker come back, and in the fashion that Luke Skywalker returned, I'm like, it choked me up. It got me.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
Harrison
I would just notice.
Go ahead, Len.
No, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo killed in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, so
he was on set fighting with Lucas about it.
Yeah. And
Lucas said, I can't sell good toys for you dying.
That's true.
Well, that's all I was going to say. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong exactly.
Yeah, that's true. But
although creatively it may have been a more daring, kind of interesting choice to have him. But just look at all I mean, that's a lot of things. I look at that and I'm like, that looks really cool. But I also see when I look at sometimes these things, I also go, wow, that's a lot of things that could get chewed on, break down.
That's why you got to be careful, dude. But I love how his cama looks too. He's got a very unique looking cama. Overall I think it looks fantastic, and I love this Emperor Palpatine hologram. I think that's really slick, and I would almost be convinced to display mine with that. That's how much I like it. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I actually make use of a lot of these holograms in my display, so I think it's awesome.
I like they just did even the detail for his backpack that it has a removable thermal detonator.
Yeah.
Like they showed there, like that's what tells me you're getting your money for $285. Like,
yeah, and this Republic gunship hologram, dude, so nice, man. Definitely a really cool figure overall.
I would use the gunship, I think, if I was using the hologram.
See, I have those holo tables because I have 2 of those Obi-Wan Deluxes, so I like making use of those holo tables and kind of putting these holograms on there, and it works really well. It looks really cool. So that's probably what I'll do with that Palpatine one. I'll throw that in with Grievous or something, because I have a holo table in front of Grievous with a B1 on it, B1 battle droid. But yeah, guys, I think this is a really cool release. There's not much more else to say about it. I think it's going to be a fantastic piece in hand. I'm really excited to get mine, but of course we're going to move on because, again, we have a lot of stuff to cover tonight. So moving on to a figure that I'm unsure, and I would like to hear people's opinions in the chat as we begin to talk about this figure. But we have the Silver Centurion armor suit-up figure from Iron Man 3. Now, guys, the interesting thing about this one, right, is this is one of the pricier die-cast Iron Man figures to show up in recent history on Sideshow. And for that, it kind of makes your decision more difficult, right? Not only is it a suit-up figure, but it's also a very expensive die-cast Iron Man figure. So I can understand why a lot of people would be passing on this one. Now, me personally, guys, when I look at this, I'm like, this is a really cool figure, but this is one of those Iron Man suits I personally have zero interest in picking it up myself. I have not watched this video in full. Of course, I've looked at the final product photos, and it does look very good. So I'm interested to see how it looks on camera here. And guys, I want to note something. A lot of people have been pointing out, they're like, oh, this is just them reusing the Iron Man Bones armor and putting some armor pieces on top of it. And it's like, well, this is the design of the armor, right? Like, so that's inherently part of the design. So I don't really understand that comment. Of course, you could see, if you're familiar with the Bones suit, this is what people are referring to, this gold and black portion here, which is what you see on the Bones armor. But I do think it looks very good. I think the head sculpt's pretty nice, too. Is it the best Tony Stark head sculpt they've done? I don't personally think so. This is just not for me, guys. And I'll be honest with you, I will also attach to that that I'm not a big fan. Not that I'm not a big fan. I just don't show a lot of interest myself in most of the suit-up stuff. I was really interested mainly in the Mark V suit-up, and then when I heard Sean's opinion on it and some other people talking about, like, hey, be careful, I could see these pieces being broken over time if you're not careful. It's like a lot of people were saying that, so I'm like, it's not for me. It's not for me. So, and while I'm bringing that up, let's just get right into it. Sean, I want to hear your thoughts on this one, being that you've had some experience with the suit-up stuff. I'm curious to hear what you think of this one, and if this is one that you're actually interested in picking up, because I've never talked to you about this one in particular.
So I do have it on order. So I'll do it with the version where it's just like the empty head sculpt, just for it to kind of be like a display piece. I am going to have a USB port connected or USB cable connected to it to have the lights on when it's on display. However, I am concerned, just like from the Mark V suit up Tony Stark, because watching this video last night, how easy those pieces like move when Guy was touching them on the video kind of makes me worried about it. However, I do like the design and I appreciate the whole concept of it. And I don't think it's the same as the Bones, just like the underneath armor section of it, where they're referring to the Bones part.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's possibly that it's a reused part. Okay. But with the armor plates covering it up, you don't know that. You can't tell that at all. And I think it's a unique design, and if they used a new mold and not from the bones, I'm sure we'd be paying a lot more. But even after I decide to order this, I'm still struggling with the price.
What is the full retail price, Sean? Could you remind us on that? I know it's like $495.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lane.
Yeah.
45.
$485. Okay.
It was the most expensive. I think it's still for regular Iron Man, still the most expensive.
And while we're talking, guys, first off, we got to give our boy Big Dog Pound in the chat. Woo! What's up, bro? Good to see you as always. Guys, I did just put up a poll without Ryan for reminding me for once. I put up a poll because as I'm hearing everybody talk,
only
I'm
30
hearing,
minutes. Only 30 minutes in, but it's all right.
But hey, this is relevant, Ryan, to what we're talking about. That's why I was like, let's pull up a poll. Maybe we'll do multiple polls, guys. But I wanted to get your guys' opinion on the Silver Centurion, because it seems like even when I'm listening to myself and the panel members talk about this, it seems like there's some mixed opinions. So, guys, I'm curious: is this a cop, or do you think this is a flop? Like I see a lot of mixed opinions on this one, so I'm very curious. So, guys, the poll is up. Definitely drop your vote, and then after we let it fill up for a little bit, we'll take a look and see what everybody thinks. But yeah,
my concern is I'm going to receive a broken piece on it.
Yeah, and again, Sean, you kind of enlightened me when it came to that Mark V, and you weren't the only one to say that. So it's not like you're just being grumpy about it or you had a bad experience yourself. I've seen quite a few people say like, no, this figure, these parts feel very brittle. I see them leaving indentations in my racing suit. So it's like the design of this figure, that's kind of inherent to it, right? It's just like with all these removable parts, it's bound to happen if you're not careful. And like you said, it could even happen in shipping. So the suit up stuff definitely worries me because of all those removable parts. And I think that's a very fair point. And again, going back to like this not being like my personal favorite Tony Stark head sculpt, when I look at it here, I'm like, it's not bad, but I don't know. This is probably one of my least favorite of the recent Tony Stark head sculpts. I just think it's not quite 100% to my liking. But of course that comes down to personal preference. I don't think it's bad. It's just when I've seen the most recent ones, especially like you're holding it up to like the Mark V suit up. That's a fantastic head sculpt. Of course, we're only getting a glimpse inside the helmet here, so I don't want to judge it too harshly, but for me, it's not my personal favorite, but yeah, very well said for sure, Sean, because again, like that's definitely something to note too, especially for newer collectors who are considering this. This may be one you want to pass on if you're not much of a tinkerer, if you're worried you're going to break something because you don't really know what you're doing. You got to be very careful with these figures that kind of come in all these different parts, right?
Yeah. I got them on pre-order too.
Yeah, and Lane, let me ask you this. After seeing these photos, after seeing this video here from Sideshow, what are your thoughts on it? Like, and knowing, and I say that knowing that you've invested $485 plus taxes and shipping. Like,
no, I didn't have to use that much. I used $200 in points on it.
Okay, so you got a substantial chunk off of it, but
yeah,
let's pretend that you did. Like, do you
it.
think it would be worth your money from what you're seeing here? Do you think it's worth that?
I think with it being a fully now. The thing is, where I put in my stuff, I don't have full access to USB lighting it the whole time, which I think is the selling point for this figure. Because it was one of the, if not the first, I think Iron Man completely USB, other than or the second one after I think Mark 1 that they were doing. But like this is kind of the first original one kind of design with the armor up version of USB, which I think is one of the reasons it's so expensive. But I do have concern about some of the little parts, but I'm not as concerned as Sean is because unlike the armor up for the Mark V, which is basically a bunch of little plastic pieces you put onto a solid figure, this is a single figure that has little pieces that has the parts you attach by magnet and click into place, like a more traditional Iron Man figure. So Sean is correct to be worried about some of this stuff, but I am not as worried about it with this one. Now, do I think when you're moving it or something, like once you have it set up like this with all the pieces, you got to be really careful with it. This is a figure, once you get it set in your display, there's got to be a specific reason why you have to take it out again. Like you need to move its arms, this is a museum pose, move the arms a little bit if you want to, set it exactly before you like stick all the little pieces on it, then attach everything, open up whatever you want to, and then leave it. Don't mess with it again.
Yeah, and Lane, Darth Drez makes a good comment here, kind of going along with what you're saying as like a set it and forget it type thing. If this falls over, dude, It's going to be like getting killed in a Lego Star Wars game. The pieces are just going to go flying everywhere, and it's like I could see it, and especially because this has some die-cast components, that's just adding to that heaviness of that fall. You got to be very careful with this one, guys. Again, I don't think this is for new collectors. I really don't. And not to say that you can't get it, but if you are going to get it, just be very, very careful. Read the instructions. You guys know I'm not an instructions person. I'm more of do it and hope I don't break it. But with this one, this is an instructions figure, 100%.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, would you guys say maybe for this using crotch grabber like traditional rather than flight stand would probably be a better idea if you can?
If you want, and most people I think are going to display it like you kind of said in this kind of suit up mode, and I think for that regard, yeah, I think I would rather use a crotch grabber because you just kind of have it standing up and down the display with his arms kind of out to the sides as he's suiting up. So I think, yeah, I think I would rather have a crotch grabber on this one personally.
Yeah, me too.
I have one annoyance with it though.
And what's that, Lane?
Sorry, go ahead and answer and respond to the comment, and then I'll make mine.
I was just gonna say, so Rack here, Rack, what's up? By the way, I did pull up a couple of your comments, but I didn't say hi to you. You said, I honestly think they took an idea from RD Studios. If you've not seen it, check. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but the original idea for the suit ups, they were doing third party, and Sean has spoken about this before, I believe. They were doing third party customs in the suit up form, and Hot Toys saw how popular that idea was and how many people were buying those customs that they decided to do it themselves. So certainly, I don't think Hot Toys is the originator of this idea. So. I'm not surprised by that. Matt, Matt, I don't have to read the instructions because I've got 20 videos of people breaking there. So now I know what not to do when mine shows up. So I think
that's just from Ryan.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, see, the good thing is too, if you're thinking about if you're buying this figure, you probably might want to say this is when you want to wait like 3 or 4 months for if everybody has stuff fall over, has other stuff break on it. So you know from instruction wise what to not do with this figure.
Right.
My one annoyance with this figure though is the head lighting is battery based, and the entire rest of the suit is USB.
That's very foolish, isn't it? Very foolish.
Yeah, I understand why they did it with having the head sculpt. I almost kind of would have say, could we have just done without the Tony Stark head sculpt and just had the regular? I mean, they do plenty of Iron Mans that don't have a Tony Stark face sculpt. Right? It's not like it's a full head sculpt. You know,
I would agree with you, but this is a suit up, so I think having that head sculpt is very much it adds a lot. Even though I said that's not my favorite Tony Stark head sculpt, I still think having it. Because, Lane, when he's suiting up, you want to see that helmet opened up because you're like, oh, damn, this is him getting ready to suit up and kick some ass. So I think I would say, me personally, I think I like that they included the sculpt. I don't know if it could be the lighting in this video. I really want to see some like MRC action on this figure, but I don't know about you guys. Does it look like Tony's face is a little too tan? And maybe, and again, it could just be in this lighting, but to me, and let me see if I can go back, it just looks a little tan to me. And I don't know if they gave us a super close-up. I guess they didn't. Let me go back. Like, does that look a little tan to you guys? Again, it could be that there's not enough lighting on the sculpt. It could just be
I think it's the lighting.
But yeah, here it looks very dark on the face. Like, it's like maybe they just didn't put enough lighting. I'm very interested to see pictures in hand. And speaking of the USB wiring, Lane, that's actually kind of I think a kind of a best case scenario. I think you all would agree in terms of a placement for the wire. I think that's pretty clever, putting it down on the foot. Yeah. That way you can kind of drape it behind the base, right?
This figure is, and I may run into this a little bit. This figure is almost all about, I guess, you know what, the one offset would be where if you're not worried about lighting up the helmet, it's because you have the Tony Stark facial sculpt part open. You necessarily wouldn't need it for that while it's lit up for the rest of the body.
That's true.
I still think it's hilarious why some of this stuff is plastic, but yet the blades are still like actual steel. Yeah. I don't know if I would use those because those I would worry could fall over and stick me in the hand.
Or impale you in the neck. You never know.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Could you see, Sean, maybe depending on when you finally get this in hand, you might, if you're worried about some of the plastic pieces for this, would you maybe not attach all of them necessarily?
No, because I want to attach everything. to make it as intricate as possible.
Sounds like actually I am going to use every last piece, Lane.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Every-
assuming.
I mean, that's my goal. I mean, everybody's
Yeah,
different. You can do
I
whatever
mean,
you want.
I'm going to do that too. But I'm just saying, if you had concerns, or once you get it set up, you might be like, you know what, this little piece on the back, or something like the back leg, no one's going to see that. Maybe I'll just leave that in the thing, because if this falls backwards, it could do this or that or something, you know?
I mean, anything's possible. And there's a thing though too, is just like, you know, you look at a figure and like, okay, I want to try something else, you know, and you choose a different pose, or, you know, I could see with this, I decide to try something else later. And like after just like thinking about it, I kind of wish there were damaged parts to this.
Oh, with
that
the
we could
light shining
swap out.
through, dude, imagine.
Ooh,
That would have been
be
so cool.
Yeah.
You mean kind of like how where you had the zombie Iron Man with kind of the damaged look to it, where you saw some of
Dude,
the light effect?
Who
through it
doesn't
and
love a little
everything?
battle damage, man? It just adds like it adds so much realism, right?
Well,
Well,
I'm thinking about like Iron Man 3 when the Mandarin's pushing down and it's like starting to melt his armor.
Oh yeah.
You know, having the holes and the
Definitely
scrapes
not, right?
there, that would have been cool.
One thing I can tell you I don't want to do is I don't want with like those little, you know, the little parts on the side there you can like pop out and everything.
Mhm.
I don't want a flight stand attached on the side of this suit. I don't like the look of that. I'm just like going with that.
I'm not gonna lie though, I do think the lights look pretty fantastic. Like that
Yeah.
see-through clear part, that's really neat. That really is really neat. And even like in the elbow joints here, you can see the light passing through. I think that's
Yeah.
very clever. But again, Lane, I agree with the helmet thing. That's very stupid that the whole thing's USB powered except the helmet. That's a
But
bummer.
a lot of people are gonna. They may have just made. I mean, it's because they have the facial sculpt. I think that's why they had to do it. But the simple solution for that is just keep the Tony Stark facial sculpt in there, and then that explains why it's not all lit up like the rest of the body.
That's true. That's true. You can kind of get around it that way.
But hey, it's a preview for this bad boy with some more coloration.
Yes. And guys, I had a question from Anthony. He just messaged me on Facebook, Sluggin16, and we're gonna talk about his question because I think it's a very fair question, and I'll address that in a little bit. But really quick, don't forget to remind me, Sluggin, to pull up your question. But guys, we're gonna talk about here. We're gonna talk about the mysterious Iron Man Mark 7 D100 edition, celebrating the 100th anniversary of
I guess
Walt
I had
Disney
no thoughts
Company.
on the Centurion suit up, I guess. Right, Connor?
Here we go. Look, Ryan.
I'm just
Ryan,
kidding. Move on.
Don't
I'm
you
just
pull
kidding.
a Sean on me. Don't you stay
just
quiet
kidding.
as a mouse. Yeah, you better. All right, so since you're going to get smart with me, Ryan, you're going to be the first one to talk about this. After I say my piece here, you're going to be the first one. You do. You better. All right,
I have nothing to say.
but I wanted to
You
point
didn't
out,
want him
guys,
to say anything about the Silver Centurion. Why do you want him to
Why
talk
am I gonna
about
say anything about
what the
Guys,
Mark
someone-
7 and the Silver Centurion have a
someone
baby
in the chat
is
help
about?
me. Someone in the chat help me here.
Someone
I was
in the
waiting for
chat,
some.
help
I
me.
was waiting for
Help
some
me.
breathing room in the conversation.
me,
There was no breathing
Predators,
room.
you're my
So
only
I let
hope.
the conversation take that.
Help
you know.
me, Obi, Chad, and Obi.
All right, I'm just getting all the smoke tonight. But guys, so I'm sure you guys saw a lot of streamers, including myself. I put up a video earlier this week talking about this D100 Iron Man Mark 7 Special Edition exclusive here. But we just got another post actually this morning from Hot Toys detailing all the different quantities and what the price is in Hong Kong. So actually, the price is a bit cheaper than some were reporting. Apparently, I was talking with Monica. He said the price that he originally mentioned of $397 was a Taiwanese price. So actually, in Hong Kong, he's only $25.80 HKD, which is about $328 US. So this is going to be a lot cheaper than a lot of people throughout the week have been saying. I mean, it seems like in terms of the price in the US, it's about where I expect it to be, which would be, in my opinion, between $435 and $455. I think with Sideshow's markup from 328, I think that's about what we can expect. And after seeing, and we're going to look at some not in-hand photos, but kind of on-display photos at one of the stores, I think we'll see why that pricing is what it is, because the display base is not nearly as substantial as it looks in some of the photos. But yeah, guys, so this is limited, and we're going to take a look at the photo from Sideshow. This figure is actually limited to only 300 pieces in the US through Sideshow. So those of you who are new, you may not know this, but this was a recent trend with the Stealth Suit 2.0 Captain America that we got. same case, 300 pieces through Sideshow. What they did with the Stealth Suit 2.0, and it may be the same case here with this one.
Criminal.
It was rough, guys, and I say this as someone who was able to get one, but only by the skin of my teeth, because if you weren't there right from the start, right when it dropped, you missed out, and it just wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to everybody going for the figure because the website completely crashed. Those who were able to get them that weren't in right when it went up were just struggling, refreshing, re-adding it to their cart because it kept dropping out. It was an absolute nightmare, guys. I mean, think about it.
And some had theirs canceled too.
Some had their orders canceled. Some people were getting the stuff ripped from their cart with the Stealth Suit cap. So I hate to say it, and guys, feel free to share your thought on this as we're talking about it, but I hate to say it, but I think we're probably going to be looking at something very similar when this does go up on Sideshow. I think it's going to be the same mess.
If it was like the other caps, you had to pay for everything in full. There was no points. There was no coupons. There was nothing you could use on.
Right, and that's another thing to mention that Lane brings up, guys, and I could say this from personal experience because I purchased the Stealth Suit cap. They would not allow you to use rewards, not coupons, rewards. You could not use coupons or rewards. So they actually blocked you from using rewards points. And part of me, I'm like, that's an a-hole move. But at the same time, I'm like, it makes sense. There's only 300 of them. They're like, whether we let people use rewards or not, they're going to pay for it, right? So they're like, let's just sell all 300 at full price. That's a little extra money in our pocket. So I can't say that I don't understand it because I very much do. You know, it makes sense for them. They're like, they're going to sell regardless, so we don't need to allow them to use rewards points. Yeah, and Matt, I'm sure you say that with sarcasm. Sideshow will be ready with this ... Yeah, I don't think they're going to be ready for this at all. That's for sure.
See, my thing, if they were going to do it something right, they should do like a lottery. Like everyone who went on and RSVP'd, do a lottery, contact them by email, send out, say, hey, you know how you have between this time and this time today to order this figure.
Yeah.
Well,
if they don't order it, then they send out the next group of emails.
Well, it would be a waitlist conversion, except it'd be cut down to maybe 4 hours instead of 24 hours. It'd be like just how you get a waitlist conversion email where you have the opportunity, right? It's like you get 24 hours or 48 hours to get a figure, but in this case, they give you 4 hours. You get 4 hours between 12 and 4 to get this figure. Otherwise, tough.
And that was the rumor, actually. I'm sure you guys remember for the Stealth Suit cap. Oh, it's going to be a lottery. They're going to be
No, that wasn't a rumor. That's Autumn said that on one of their live streams.
Well, Sean, I would still consider that a rumor if she was wrong, because that tells me that she didn't confirm it with the correct people. But regardless, yeah, that was said by Autumn, but that's rough, man. It was rough, and it's one of those things where it's like we can disagree when people are angry about certain things with Hot Toys releases, but with that, it's like I don't see anyone disagreeing with the anger behind that, because it was quite frankly a joke. It was very poorly handled, and then they give you a coupon that works on a bunch of figures that no one wants. So it's like a lot of people took that as like a stab in the back, and I understand it. And again, even though I was able to pick up the cap, I was pretty upset about it because a lot of my friends weren't able to get it, and I know quite a few of my friends that were trying to get a hold of it, and they didn't even get a fair chance at it. So it's like, and I've been in many hobbies where there's limited releases like that, and I'm very conditioned to attempt to get something and miss out on it and understand that, hey, I missed out because I wasn't fast enough. But when you go for something and you don't even have a chance to be fast enough, that's where you get angry, right? Because you're like, what the hell, man? I didn't even get a fair shake at it because the website wouldn't comply. You know what I mean? So it's like, I very much feel the frustration with that. And it's going to be the same case with this one. I hate to say it, but I'm very unhopeful that Sideshow has learned their lesson from that, because again, if it sells for them, they don't care. It sells, and they know it's going to be a fiasco. They know it's going to be thousands of people going for 300 units. So truly, I'm not surprised by that. But real quick, guys, Lane is actually on his way out. As I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, he was going to be with us very briefly. Lane, if you would like to say your final piece, let me get this comment from in front of your face, and we'll say what's up to HG once you head out. But Lane, what would you like to say before you head out here?
I got to say, for all the, stuff we're having to talk about from past experience, or even like what Sideshow did with that Poison Ivy statue where they didn't tell you it had an ES of 250, and then like it went bye-bye before you even had a chance to know what the heck was going on. I think this figure looks really cool. I love the Silver Centurion art combination on it. If the price is under $400, I almost laugh as I say that. I think that's still, if they price it at that, I think that's a good price for this. I mean, wasn't Mark 7 the diecast one like over 400 when it
Yeah, I think it was like
came out?
410, 415, something
So
like that.
if
When he
it's in
retailed,
somewhere
yeah.
that range, if it's somewhere in that range or a little bit less because it doesn't have a head sculpt or something, you know, I think it's a pretty good price for a limited release one like this. But anyway, I hope if it pops up here, when it pops up here in the next couple of weeks, I wish everybody good luck with this. I hope some people manage to get their hands on it, because Mark 7, as most of us agree, is a lot of people's favorite Iron Man.
It's my baby. You know that, Lane. I love the Mark 7. That's my baby right there.
Yep. And I hopefully, I think the base looks cool too for it as well. So it marks it as a little bit, I think that helps sell it as something different.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, anyway, I'm going to get out of here and let these guys keep talking about this interesting figure that hopefully will not have a lot of keyboards getting smashed or thrown.
Maybe just a few
into the ground. All right. Hey guys, don't forget, make sure you hit the like, subscribe. Also, don't forget everybody here who excluded me, unfortunately, right now, who has a channel, make sure you go check out their channels. And always, of course, Tuesday nights, we've got the Hot Toys Hotline and Mr. Mom's Collectibles doing their should we or should we not for older.
Another stream to get people heated, right, Lane? That's what we like to do on Tuesdays.
I know. Well, you guys just did. It would just, thanks, Mr. Bischoff. You know, controversy creates cash. But you guys just did Jack Sparrow, I think, this past week, didn't you?
So related to Jack Sparrow, we actually did Davy Jones. Jack Sparrow, he'll come up eventually. Don't you worry.
I'm thinking of a different thing that was talking about Jack Sparrow. But you know, Davy Jones. But you know, so go check those out because Hot Toys Hotline is expanding his content. He's going to have probably more reviews than he knows that he wants to do here in the near future, as we all know.
I'm going to have to
discuss it. Anyway, Nightmare, Mr. Mom, you guys all have a good night. Chat, thank you again for joining me. I always have a pleasure being able to hang out with you guys. You have a good night.
Take care, Lane. Have a good one, man.
Have a good night, Santa.
Oh, right as he leaves. I want to say what's up to some people who joined us as we were discussing this figure here. We got our boy HG in the chat as always. He says, "What's up, everybody? What is up, HG? It's great to have you as always, bro. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Great to have you here on this fine Thursday evening." And Matt says, "Guys, be ready. This might drop tomorrow." Yeah, it could be any day now, guys. And we're going to talk about why here shortly. And the collector says, "I'll be getting the code because I'm not getting this. Site's going to crash." See, I mean, not a lot of faith from the community on this one, guys. Fat Batman in the house. He says, "What's up, everyone? What's up, Fat Batman? I hope you're doing well, bro. Great to see you as always." We got Equan. Equan says, "I predict scalpers putting this Iron Man up in Facebook last time for Cap. Last time for Cap, excuse me." Yeah, I mean, this is going to be another one. A lot of people are going to buy it just to sell. Me personally, I'm going for it for my personal collection. So hopefully I'm able to pick it up, but I don't blame people for wanting to go for it to use it for trade bait or whatever, because it is one of those figures that will draw a lot of attention for trades. So I can't be mad at it. You know, everybody has a fair shake at it. So it is what it is. Rack says, "If you want, you can always make a deal with the devil, Toys Wonderland Asylum." I think I'm good on that, Rack. I think I'm going to pass on that, but thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah.
As Sean throws in his little y'all. Matt says, "No online retailers ever did a lottery for PS5s. Common sense is to do it that way, just mayhem." I mean, yeah. I think at this point, Sideshow likes the mayhem, and they like to see a fast sellout, so they're just going to do it their style regardless. But
just let's push away our customers. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I actually want it, and I hope I get it. I didn't get the cap, and I was okay with missing out on it. I was not okay that my daughter's order was canceled, though, for her. That was messed up.
Yeah. It's wrong. It's wrong to do that to people, especially when it's such a limited piece. Like, the feeling of actually being able to get something, right, is half the fun of it. And then when you get it and then they tell you can't get it and it's canceled, that's just it's wrong. It really is.
Yeah. But we have a super chat there.
Yeah, thank you. So Lane on his way out says, "Remember, bad choices is the way." Trying to take a dig at Sean with that $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Lane. Have an absolute blast on your night out on the town with your friends, and I very much appreciate it.
Right there. He's spending on you.
Wow.
Lane,
The
you're
Hot
so
Toys
gracious, my
Hotline
friend.
appreciates your $2 super chat. It shivers the timbers out of the sugar and spice that comes from something that's
How does
naughty and
Sean
nice.
come up with this stuff? Guys, this is not
Remember,
practice. This is
Hot
Sean.
Toys Hotline. Get that shakes and it bakes all over
Lord.
and it wakes. Get that money in and see that thing go.
Oh, there you
Come
go.
on. Connor wants to shake. He wants to lose some weight. Let's go. Let's go.
I don't know where this is going. I like Sean. He's just taking it in every which direction.
Dude, it just comes to me, all right? But hey, whatever.
Very poetic,
cool.
Sean.
All
Very
right.
poetic.
Yeah.
Sneaker game says
Okay,
coming
like
from this.
wow, like totally freaked me out. I mean, right on. Connor wants to be number one. Get those super
Lord.
chats in. Come on. Connor wants to make some money.
Guys, don't listen to Sean. Don't listen to him.
Okay, yeah.
I got-
You know what, guys? You're right. Don't listen to me. Everyone, don't send a super chat, okay? Don't do it at all.
Moose Stream, that's a good question. I'm very curious with that as well. I think Sideshow always leaves the door open for something, you know? I mean, not to say that they're just going to magically get more Stealth Suit caps, because I don't think it's going to happen, but oftentimes they leave the wait list open for a while before they decide to close it off and kind of mark the figure as sold out. We've seen that with like figures that were recently put in sold out status, like Count Dooku and other figures that came out around the same time as him. So they do that very often.
Well, they did the Han Solo Mud Trooper for like 18 months.
That's true. So that's really false hope is what it is, guys. It's very much false hope. But Sean, going back to what you said, where you said that you really hope you get this one, I'm right there with you, and I hope you're able to pick this one up since you missed out on the Stealth Suit cap. It's certainly going to be a war for all of us. To be honest with you, I do really want this one. I think I won't be as upset if I miss this one versus the Stealth Suit cap, because I just really love that Stealth Suit. So I'm glad I was able to get that one. If I miss out on this one, it will suck for me, but I won't be as mad as I would have been with the Stealth Suit personally. But I think it's really cool. And Ryan, I know you kind of expressed that this wasn't really your cup of tea, and understandably so, but what are your thoughts on this release as a whole? And I asked you that question in the veil of this is a Walt Disney 100-year anniversary figure. Where do you think it fits in your brain with that?
None whatsoever. I don't think it's obviously a cash grab for me, because when I think of Disney 100 years, I'm not thinking Iron Man is not the first thing that comes to mind. I'm thinking like true Disney stuff that probably won't sell, put it that way, like Mickey Mouse or, you know, stuff like that. That's much more traditional. I don't instinctively think of an Iron Man repainted Mark 7 to celebrate Disney 100. That's just, it doesn't come to mind. So the whole thing stinks. It smells like a cash grab. I don't personally, I don't mean this in the most sincere way. I hope you will get it, but I'll be sitting there probably watching the posts online of people having a mental breakdown over this, like Stealth Suit cap, because it's just going to be what it is all over again. I mean, I got my RSVP email too. I mean, it's just going to be the same thing. I don't think it's super original. I think, like you said, I have the Mark 7. It's just they left the gold off and repainted it, so it's cool. I'm not trying to be negative on it, but I mean, it just doesn't thrill me. It's not something that, I mean, I won't lie. Like, I will probably go online and take a stab at it, but bearing in mind, can't put it on payment plan, can't use rewards. You got to pony up $430 right there. I mean, you know, I think it's kind of funny. People are like, you know, oh, you know, people kind of forget those. And I think Nate was talking about on Geeking Out, because it happened with me in Stealth Suit. Like, don't attempt to try to do a payment plan. Don't attempt to try, because if you deviate from putting it in your cart and just paying for it, it will kick it out of your cart most likely. It's what happened with me with Stealth Suit. Like, when I got the Stealth Suit cap, I tried putting rewards in it. It got kicked out. I had to go back in. I tried putting a discount code on it. It got kicked out. I had to go back in. And so I just screwed myself, realistically. So my only advice is put it in, pay for it, hope you have money on a credit card, and just worry about it later. Honestly, that's the best. Yeah. Don't try using a firm. Don't try using any payment. Like, straight get a credit card ready as your stored payment method. Dump it in, pay it, hope for the best. That's the only thing I can say to people. Like, don't mess around with it. Like, just, this is one of those where you save money on so many other figures. Just prepare to pay retail on this and call it a day. If that makes sense. Like, the amount of money that you save, $20 coupons, stuff like that, just be prepared to pay retail on this. And that's your best chance, I think, of securing one if you get it it's like Indiana Jones. You get to the third task of checkout. You got to get
Right.
pages got to load, got to get it in the cart, got to be able to pay for it. Like it's kind of like that thing. So, that's my advice. I don't personally care of the system that they're using because they're using it on figures that aren't like they're not wowing me. Like Stealth Suit Cap was a 2.0 of a figure that already came out. So once again, it was one of those that like it sucks that I missed out on it because Connor, I had it in my cart multiple times trying to pay, but then I look back on it, I'm like, okay, I'm not losing sleep. I lost it. Same thing with this thing. This isn't like an original figure where like just to the point where like, damn, they should really release this to everybody. So I'm okay with it being 1,500 because it's just going to be, it's a one-off kind of piece. It's nothing crazy. It's not a completely original design to me. It's the Mark 7. They just repainted it. So I'm okay with the system as is because I don't think they're going to change anything because it's 300 units. If they were doing a system of like 500 to 1,000, 2,000, then they should do like a lottery system like what Sean was talking about because you have higher volume and things like that. But for 300 pieces, I honestly don't think Sideshow and them, they care. They just dump it, get rid of it in a couple hours, and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, and the reason I think
be so negative.
No, I mean the reason I think they don't do the lottery system is because what if those who get chosen for the lottery don't pay up initially? And Sideshow's thinking to themselves like, why do I
break it up into 4-hour increments? That's the thing.
But that's the thing. They don't care to do that.
It's
and
too
I'm not saying that's the
complicated
right thing.
It's too complicated of a system to maintain for such a frivolous thing.
Yeah, but if you guys think about it too, look at how much money they lost that day with their website crashing.
How much money?
Because the only thing people were trying to buy was a Stealth Suit Cap, and then they didn't get it, and they didn't buy anything else because everyone was angry.
I don't think in the scheme of things one day it was going to kill them personally. That's just me. I don't know. Obviously, something isn't wrong because they're doing it again. Whether they don't have, obviously they're doing it again because they're not upset about it because it's the same exact system. So that goes to show you that they're not as upset about it as maybe we are. They're like, they don't care personally. They're just going to flip it and have a nice day and move on to the next thing. That's why I think they also released the Silver Centurion because it's almost like people might go after that maybe because it's like, oh, that's there. I don't know. That one came at the wrong time too. I think that's why not a lot of people are going to buy it right away. But there's people like losing sleep over this thing. And I think it's funny how people are like, giving their opinions on whether or not they're going to buy it or not. It's almost to the point where that's if you even get the opportunity to buy it. It's not like we have a say if like, well, I'm going to pass or I'm going to buy it.
No, this is right place, right time.
You have to be chosen really to get this, even have the opportunity to buy this thing.
Let me tell you guys how I got Cap, and it's gonna blow some of your minds because it's really against what a lot of people do to prepare. Dude, I hate to say it, I scored Stealth Suit Cap on 1 bar of horrible connection. And that's simply because when I tell you it was as slow as a snail, and not only that, I also attempted to add rewards, but I was just there right before the website. Like it's just one of those things where all the pieces kind of fell in place, and I was there right when it went up. Thankfully, a friend of mine, shout out to my boy, little Kylo Ren collects in the Discord. He pinged me the moment it went live, and I rushed to my phone. I was on a horrible connection. I thought to myself, like, I'm screwed, and I got it. And it's just, that's how it's going to be with this. And like Ryan said, there's no hesitation. You can't hesitate, because if you hesitate for a second, and this is something that you really want, you're done for. So this is what I'm going to do. Throw those rewards out the window. Forget about the rewards. Forget about trying coupons. Forget all that, because it's not going to happen. And if it does, that may cost you to lose your figure.
It's not, like I said, for the amount of money that I feel like a lot of us nowadays are, not to say bargain bin buying, but we're definitely not. I don't think a lot of us are paying retail. You know what I mean? So you hear about how much he saved over the course of a year. Like, I remember Denobi was saying last year he saved $3,000-$4,000 on deals. You could afford to get one at retail. If this is going to be
those points can be used elsewhere, right?
Exactly. That money that you saved, you bite the bullet and you pay retail for this. That's what it is.
Right.
It's
and this is certainly, in my opinion, this is certainly
it's
like
worth
more
it,
of
even if, because I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry, but the resell on this, I mean, anybody my opinion, anyone, if you lose out on this, just move on to the next thing. Like anyone who's going to try to get this in the aftermarket, like good luck. It's going to be there, but you're going to pay insane money. You're going to pay easily double the price. The price.
Yeah.
And I will say so far, Cap has been like 425, 450 very often. This one, it's Iron Man, dude. So you can't underestimate Iron Man. And there's a lot of completionist collectors. Not only that, there's a lot of Mark 7 fans because Mark 7 is a very beloved suit. So,
they're smart. They know what they did. If they repainted a
Yeah.
Mark 5, I mean, I don't know. It's the 7, of course. It's in everyone's top. It's not my number 1. It's in my top 3 though, easily. It's in everyone's at
Yeah.
least top 3 suits usually, or top 4. So they're smart. And like the base, it's a reused Mark 1 base. The ramp,
Right,
it's the ramp from the Mark 1 with the Marvel
and
logo. And like the Avengers thing is plastic. Like
I
people
want to
want the
address
base.
that too.
People like the base more than the figure.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the big selling point, right? That's the extravagancy
Yeah.
of it, and I really wanted to address that because obviously that's a big topic of conversation. Let me address some comments first, and we're going to talk about this display base because it's a little disappointing. Still very cool, but a little disappointing, and we're going to talk about why. But we have a good question here from Rack. Rack says, "I need help. Do I purchase a mint in box Batman Returns 2-pack for $700, or OG RoboCop and T100 for $800? What choice would you
RoboCop.
guys make?" Yeah, I mean, so that's an easy decision for me, and here's why. And I know you said Batman Returns 2-pack. However, we have a 89 Batman from Hot Toys on pre-order that's absolutely gorgeous. Let's just say you forget about that Returns look for Keaton Batman and go with the 89 Batman. I also know, as we all do, that Mars Toys, if you're okay with purchasing a third party, they're working on an Alfred from Returns. So I would say if you really want that Batman, go with the Hot Toys 89 Batman and then wait for Mars Toys to drop that Alfred. And I guarantee you, pricing on that Alfred through 1/6 kit is going to be like 160, 170 maximum.
Well, do you mean the Batman, the Bruce Wayne 89? Because the 2-pack here, I think because the 2-pack here has Batman and Bruce Wayne together.
Oh, I'm
from
sorry.
92.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so sorry. Why am I saying
No,
Alfred?
but
Yes,
no,
Bruce Wayne.
it's
Bruce
basically the
Wayne.
same
I
combo.
apologize.
It's the same combo, but it'd be the 89. Yeah.
Right. I'm
You're good.
saying thank you so much. I was saying Alfred the whole time, but they are making an Alfred. So if you're interested in the Alfred, but yes, Mars Toys has a Bruce Wayne figure that they're working on. It's up on pre-order and it's like 160, 170. So and if you use my code, you can get $10 off of that. Let me pull that up for you since we're talking about
And
this.
not for nothing, who's to say that we won't see a reissue, a 2.0 of the 92 suit? Because it's completely possible. It's in the realm. They already did that. It could go with the Batmobile because the Batmobile, remember, is a hybrid between 89 and 92. So you could turn around and pose the 92 Batman with it. There's honestly nothing to be ruled out that they don't give us a little taste and give us a 92, maybe just a 92 Batman by itself. And like Connor said, you pair it with that 89 Bruce Wayne. It's the same. You just made your own combo pack, really. I would go with the RoboCop because I don't think they're going to redo that personally.
Yeah. So, and again, because of the options that Mars Toys has given us, you can kind of mix and match and make a really good scene. Again, you have the Bruce Wayne from them. They're working on an Alfred from Returns. You can get the 89 Batman from Hot Toys, which looks absolutely fantastic. And Ryan showed us compared to his, they have made some good improvements where improvements can be made. So it's like, for me, I would probably go with the RoboCop 2-pack as well, or the 2 figure option as well. However, also keep in mind you do have a current RoboCop on pre-order, so it's like, is it that you're after the original RoboCop look, or that just it was offered to you? Because then you could go with the RoboCop 3 RoboCop and just not use the jetpack, and you essentially have a very close RoboCop 2 RoboCop, because they did reuse the Peter Weller face sculpt portion, even though Peter Weller was not reprised as the role of RoboCop in RoboCop 3. So you really could kind of make a RoboCop 2 RoboCop because it has those purple hints and such in it out of that RoboCop 3 pack. So I don't know. I hate to say it, but if it were me, I'd probably just go for the one figure from the second option and then grab that new RoboCop. That's just me, though. Unless you're really tied to that original RoboCop, that's probably what I would do. Just because you could save some money there, you know.
I would just ask you, what do you really want? What's your favorite movie out of those two?
It sounds to me like he likes them both equally, and that's what's making the decision tough. I mean, and of course, Rack, you could address that with us. That's a good question from Sean. But to me, that's what I gathered. You like them both so much, and it's a hard decision for you to make.
If you're like a hardcore Batman fan, you know, and you have a good price for the 2-pack, I say go with that. If you're a hardcore RoboCop fan, or you're just mediocre, then go get that. You know, collect what you really want. Look at what you want, get what you want, and that's it. It's
Don't be like
if you just want it all. I mean, you have more of a chance of getting a good deal on an Ed 209 and a RoboCop than you do the Batman 2-pack. So if you're getting a Returns 2-pack with Batman and Bruce Wayne, and it's a good deal, go with that first.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, you can't really go wrong with either, but again, those are just personal thoughts. Rack, take that and kind of make your decision after hearing our thoughts. But real quick, guys, we got Chris, the Collecting Madness, in here. And as Chris was ready to do his intro, belt in hand, Sean wouldn't let him say it. Sean was getting his point out, so we couldn't get Chris. Chris, grab the belt.
I wasn't even looking at the
belt.
screen.
Grab the belt. Chris, grab the belt. Grab the belt.
We got the belt here, brother. What more you need? I was letting the man finish, but tonight, if you haven't liked it up, like it up. Because we the ones.
The WWE champ, Luka Doncic, apparently. That's who you are.
Did you comb your hair?
Yeah. No, I brushed my hair.
I've never seen you comb your hair before, dude. That's so weird.
It's not combed. It's just fresh out the shower, so it's still
it's frazzled, freshly frazzled.
Did
He
you
said he
go
just
blow
made
your
the
hair out
purchase. That
before
was
you came
easy, huh?
Do what?
Did you?
We
blow
just
your
convinced
hair
someone
out
to
before you
spend
came on?
money.
No.
Yeah, I think
No,
it's
this is
Sean's
all
fault.
natural. There's no blow dry.
Sean, it's your fault. He got the RoboCop and the T1000. Thanks to you, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have went Batman Returns.
Yeah, just met. Yes, Collecting Madness is the head of the table with his belt sitting next to him. He's got his plate of dinner
Acknowledge
next to him.
me.
Right. But guys, what I wanted to address about this base, and shout out to Carlito, because he kind of called this, and I was unsure, honestly. Looking at the photos, I was like, I'm not sure what it's made of. And I was kind of doubting him. But Carlito pointed this out in the messenger chat. He was like, dude, I bet you that backdrop is going to be a cheap plastic. And, dude, it looks pretty thin. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a good call on his part. Because if we get a close-up look, I mean, that's razor thin. That's like what he compared it to, that clamshell plastic material, right? Very, very thin. However, I will say I love these close-up shots. How cool is this, though? You got the Hulk here. You got what looks like Black Widow. You've got
I never even noticed
Hawkeye.
that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Like, that is really cool. And I want to go back and address some of the comments, too, about this relating to the 100th anniversary, because I saw a couple good comments. But real quick, graciously from Rack, a $10 super chat. Rack says, about to hit you with a difficult question. What is a figure from Star Wars you want? But if it gets a release as the 40th, you will be upset. Mine is Admiral Akbar. That's a tough one.
Wow. Thank you for that super chat. We really appreciate it. As that money comes towering in, going into the Hot Toys Hotline wallet, we really need to ask ourselves, what is he going to do for us? I think a layer of clothing every time.
Oh, see,
someone does a super chat.
That's where I put
literally what we need to start doing. You can start with your watch, please.
I don't have a watch on, so Sean, I guess I'm exempt from that. But
you can take a sock off or a shoe.
I'm not wearing socks, Sean.
My God.
But real quick, let's answer this question, right, guys? So, Rack, this is a good question, and you're kind of putting us on the spot, because for me, you know how I am with Star Wars. It's like, I'll take all I can get. When it comes to original trilogy, it's like, give me more, you know? But if I had to say one thing, I'm like, that I would be not upset with, but like, oh man, another one. Maybe if they gave us another like Stormtrooper release, just like a repacked Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper, because that's just so basic. I already have a Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper. They released 2.
I need
SKUs
one.
before.
I need one.
You watch for me.
Chris, this is my answer. You be quiet right now. But no, seriously. For me, it would be a Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper, just because I already have one. They did 2 SKUs before you got the standard and the deluxe. And for me, I would just be like, another Stormtrooper. Now, maybe I'll pick another one up because I only have one. But in my list of figures,
of course you will.
All right, so Chris and Ryan don't get to answer this question. They just made themselves exempt. Oh, Euler says check your Facebook and update for you. Facebook or Instagram? I don't see a Facebook message. I'll pull up my Instagram. But Ryan, go ahead and share your thoughts on this question. What would be disappointing?
I thought you said you didn't want him to answer.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk.
I'm granting you. I'm giving you the stick back.
I wasn't allowed to talk during the Silver Centurion. Now you grant me an opportunity to talk and answer.
I've passed the stick. I've passed the stick, dude. It's your time to shine.
Now we're passing the sticks. Okay.
Yes.
When
yes, I've passed the stick.
For me, nothing, because I don't have anything Return of the Jedi. So I'll be a grateful collector. I'll take anything they have, including Stormtroopers. I'll double up on them too, because I like those Return of the Jedi Stormtroopers. So unlike the man above me who says
okay,
I'll take them all.
See, listen. This is one of those questions. I started by saying, like, I'll take it all. It's Return of the Jedi. I want it all. But in fairness to his question, he said he was basically putting us on the spot. I'm like, if I have to answer. So that's what this is. So, Ryan, I'm not going to allow that. If you have to answer, and I agree with you. I'm grateful for all Return of the Jedi. But let's say...
What, if there's something released for 40th that, like, I wouldn't want?
Right. If there's one, you're... Not that you wouldn't want, but you're like, oh, really? They did that again? Or, oh, really? They did that?
I mean, honestly, I can't stand them, and you love them. There's Ewoks. I can't stand them. Like, if they...
that's fair, yeah.
But they're going to release them, and I'll phrase it in a way that if they released a whole bunch of figures for 40th, what would be the ones that, like, I probably would not buy? It would probably be Ewoks, but I probably would end up getting one, like you said, but they'd be like a disappointment because I know that they were going to do it again. I would want all the main characters. I don't personally care for the Ewoks and their role. I mean, I just didn't care for it. That doesn't say I wouldn't pick them up, because I know to be a completionist of the line, I don't know when we'll get Return of the Jedi again. So yeah, they got me, but that's one I'll probably be like, eh.
Yeah. I hear you. And real quick, Oilers, I don't have any messages from you on Instagram or Facebook. I just checked. I don't see anything. Maybe it didn't go through yet. But let me know once you double check on it. But I think that's fair, Ryan, right? Because that's not something that really excites you. And I like being put on the spot with questions like that, because it's not something that I would normally say I'm upset by, because, you know, it's Return of the Jedi. I'm going to like it regardless. But Sean, if you had to pick one release where you're like, oh, that's kind of disappointing, I didn't really care to get that, what would it be from Return of the Jedi?
Well, I mean, the question is, what is a figure from Star Wars you want? But if it gets released as the 40th, you will be upset. I mean, there's multiple figures from Return of the Jedi I want. I don't think I'd be upset for anything specifically. However, I don't want, like, for example, the TIE pilot, I really want from Mando or even A New Hope or something.
I really want one too.
I don't want them to take up a slot for Return of the Jedi for, you know, a trooper like that, for a TIE pilot. I would want them to give us an actual named figure, you know, or give us like some aliens, give us a Gamorrean guard or a Bib Fortuna, you know, not another Boba Fett. You know, we don't need a 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. We don't need that.
Of course we do.
You don't think we have plenty already, Sean?
What, Boba Fett's?
Yeah, you don't think we don't have enough already?
No, I think we're good for a while. You know, maybe give us the white version. You know, the white version for the prototype would be great, but not the.
Ooh.
You know, I just want to see like something come out. I want a Han Solo.
I know, man. We're all hoping that this is our chance, right? Because of Indy 5. Real quick though, while we're talking, guys, Jordan just sent me something really exciting. I kind of want to bring this up because he just sent it to me. I was hoping that this is what Jordan was reaching out about.
I think I know what it is too, actually.
Yeah, you know what it is, Ryan.
It is? It is what I think it is?
Uh-huh. All right, guys. Man. So real quick, guys, we're going to get back to Iron Man, but I want to show you this real quick because I told you guys a while ago, I reached out to Jordan and I was like, dude, like I got this third-party dark side and I'm like, I really want to get this armor repainted. Is this something you could do? And he's like, yeah, dude, send it to me. So I sent it over to him and Jordan just sent me some updates and it's looking really cool so far, man.
Whoa.
I mean, that color is pretty close, man. And obviously Jordan's still working on it, but holy crap. Let me pull up the shin guards and everything. Hold on a second here. But here's a good photo too. Jordan's got the two pieces next to each other. Let me see if I copied this link correctly. He's got the two pieces next to each other so you could see the drastic color difference between the two. And I want to show you that because the original armor was painted so poorly in terms of accuracy of the color. I mean, look at the difference there, guys. You can see the original color there versus what Jordan's doing here. I'm so excited to check this out. I just wanted to share it with y'all real quick because this is really cool. I'm really excited to see it all put back together and finished up. But hell yeah, dude! Oh, here's one more picture of the shin guards as well before we get back into Iron Man. Dude, check this out, man. I mean, it's a huge improvement, right, guys? I don't know if you guys watched my review on this, but that was my biggest thing. I'm like, dude, why? How could they get the color so wrong? So I reached out to Jordan. I was like, dude, please, could you do this? And he was like, yeah, send it over to me. So thank you, Jordan. That just made my night. I'm really excited to see this in person once you get all finished up with it. It looks awesome, dude. It's a huge improvement over the original. And I knew, dude, you have a good eye for detail and when it comes to accuracy, so I knew you would nail it. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. But as we're still talking about this, and Chris, I wanted to hear your thoughts too, and I think you'll probably have a similar thing to say where you're like, oh, I don't really have anything that would disappoint me. But there is regarding this question from Rack. Is there anything that comes to mind when you read this question from Rack?
Honestly, the first person, which this is gonna sound bad, but is another like Luke, like a Return of the Jedi Luke. As much as I love that figure, and Return of the Jedi is my favorite out of the original trilogy, and that's what I collect for my display. That would probably, I don't know. I just feel like it's overloaded right now, but it's probably gonna happen. But it's a cop answer. I'm not gonna be too much, but that's the one I think of that first comes to mind that I'd be like, did they? But yeah.
It's understandable. It's understandable. There's a lot of people that would probably agree with you. We've had so many versions of Luke. We have the Mando Luke that just came out. So it's definitely understandable for sure. Peyton says he wants that gold C-3PO and R2 2-pack. Dude, we can only hope. We didn't get the 2-pack from Attack of the Clones, so I'm not gonna hold my breath. But yeah, I hope so, man. We do have a $2 super chat from my boy OG. He says, too many. No, we haven't had a FET for like a year. That's true. Our last FET was what? Arena FET? That was the last one that we had to release. So we're due for another one. We're due for another one for sure. Of course, we got to have OG defending our boy Boba Fett. We always appreciate it from the Boba Fett Club. Carlito, bro, I just gave you a shout out when we were talking about this Iron Man. And guys, real quick, we're going to move on from this Iron Man. I did want to address one of the comments really quick regarding... Oh, and then we have 16 Junkie. 16 Junkie, I'm sorry I didn't see you when you first popped in. I hope you're doing well. 16 Junkie's always... show me a lot of love on Instagram, so definitely check him out on Instagram. I very much appreciate it for you coming through, man. And then we have Hot Toy Collector. He says, good morning/evening from Singapore. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here, as always. It's great to see you. Where's that comment? There was a comment, and guys, if someone made a comment about the presence of this figure amongst the 100 years of Disney, and I can't find it. If you could repost it, if you're the one that posted it, I can't remember where the comment is. I probably scrolled right past it. And also, I want to say what's up to my boy Furbo. He says, what's going on, guys? Love the streams as always. Great to have you here, bro. As always, we appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
But let's see. A lot of comments, guys. You guys are going comment crazy. But we're going to bring up our next topic, and I'm going to address some more comments here. So give me 1 second.
Hey, you have another super chat.
Another super chat. You guys are... I didn't read this one?
No. OG fan?
I did read OG fan. Sean, you're asleep, man. I did pull his up.
I'm pulling up other things, and I had the camera over. I didn't realize that was the one for his super chat.
You almost made me feel bad,
Chris,
Sean.
your turn. Grab the belt. Chris, your turn for the belt. For OG fan. Come on. I have like limited no time to ever prepare, so your turn. Go.
There you go. All right.
You're supposed to talk.
Chris, you're fired. Chris, you're fired. Chris, you're fired. Put the belt away.
Wow.
Put the belt
OG
away.
fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. We really appreciate your super chat.
Lord.
As you can tell, this little madness mother is not able to give you what you really deserve. So I'm here in his place, like always. We're here for all of you. The entertainment. Silence, you who's. You failed.
Yeah.
I'm here to replace. Now, as we were saying before, we were so rudely interrupted, OG. We're here to please all of you as you give that money to Connor, the Hot Toys Hotline.
I'm Hotto. I'm Connor. His nicknames being thrown out. We got to stick to one thing, guys. Come on now.
Okay, sugar and spice, be naughty and nice.
These are supposed to be videos we make outside too for him to.
No.
You're doing this on the fly.
No. No.
All right. Real quick, City Rider. Thank you so much. The City Rider was the comment I was looking for. City Rider says Avengers Campus is a huge deal in the park, so it does make sense. I mean, so obviously, yes, Marvel is a Disney property, but for me, my thing with it is when I'm looking at 100 years of Disney, it's like I always love to remember that quote. It all started with a mouse, right? From Walt Disney. So I'd love to see some classic Disney characters. And I think it was Matt who had mentioned a lot of the Cos Baby stuff they did is stuff that we would have liked to have seen in 6-scale form. And when we had Mickey, we had Minnie. Even that Black Panther I thought was really cool, even though, again, that's kind of straying away from the 100 years of Disney in my head for what I would personally want. I mentioned this in my video. I would love to see another Jack Sparrow. I would love to see some more like Pixar stuff. You know, we got a Buzz Lightyear last year for pre-order, so they definitely have the capabilities of doing different stuff. And we never know. Maybe they'll go back and do some more 100th anniversary of Disney stuff. But for now, that's what we got. I understand it. I know a lot of us call it a cash grab, and it is. But Iron Man sells, right? So I understand why they did it. It's just unfortunate that we didn't see more classic Disney stuff in 6-scale form. Let's see. Yeah, battle damage Ironmonger Donald. Yes, that's very specific. So you got Ironmonger, but then within the Ironmonger suit, it opens up to reveal who? Not Obadiah Stane, but Donald Duck. I love that, dude. Very clever indeed. Yeah, I mean, see what I mean, OG? Like, stuff like that would be so cool. Obviously, that's way out of left field for Hot Toys. That strays off the path that they're typically on, but I think that would be really cool myself. But guys, real quick, we're not going to spend too much time on it, but I want to talk about the Infinity Ultron. We don't have any videos, unfortunately, but I got to be honest with you guys, and the fact that we didn't get a die-cast Ultron from Avengers Age of Ultron makes this one very appealing to a lot of people, because that original plastic Ultron, I know people have had some parts break off of theirs and what have you, so this is a very appealing for that reason, because this is fully die-cast. But not only that, guys, I got to be honest with you. They knocked it out of the park from what I could see here. It looks very, very close to the prototype. I love that kind of Vision Ultron sculpt on the inside there. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I think they did a great job. The colors of the armor with the Infinity Stones across the chest, it looks fantastic. This is a very clean looking figure. I love him here holding the crushed Iron Man helmet. I think that's really clever. I'm very curious to hear, and especially from those in the chat, how many people are interested in picking this one up? Because it seems like from what we could see in one of the photos here, this is kind of it for What If Season 1 figures. I know all of us were really excited about that zombie Cap and that T'Challa Star-Lord, but part of me thinks because of this photo here that you'll see in the final product photos with kind of all the figures together, I feel like that might be it for now. Of course, we are getting What If Season 2, so I'm sure there's going to be stuff coming from Season 2, but for me, guys, I've passed on all the What If stuff, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'll probably end up picking this one up if I can get it for a deal. I think it looks really good, and I love that lance that he comes with. I just think this is such a totally badass figure, and I love the shine of that armor. And this is the photo I was talking about here, guys. When it comes to the What If stuff, I think this is kind of wrapping up Season 1 What If stuff. But I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. If anyone wants to jump in and talk about the Infinity Ultron, because I know this is one that's probably going to be slept on quite a bit, because it's not really on a lot of people's radar, just because it's based on a show character, and it's not the Ultron that we saw in the main line of films. So I'm curious to hear some people's thoughts on this Infinity Ultron.
I think it looks good, but I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, same thing with me. I mean, I wasn't into the What If series. I watched a few episodes and it kind of dipped off for me. I appreciate it. For those who get it, it looks really great. I do like it a lot. It's just, I mean, I know what it is. It's just that from Ultron, I think of Ultron from Age of Ultron, the movie. So I prefer that more classic version of him. But I think it looks really nice. Kind of wish it was it stinks that it's not USB powered to light up the Infinity Stones on the chest, so it looks cool plugged in.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think it looks really nice. I think it really held up to the prototype, if not maybe even a little bit better. It looks a little bit better than the prototype.
Dude, it looks fantastic. I agree.
But I have nothing negative to say about it. It's just that what it represents is something that I'm not interested in, I guess, if that's a nice way of saying it. But for those who get it, and I wouldn't buy it just for the sake of, I don't have an Ultron, so I'm going to settle and buy this. I will be passing on it. But like I said, for those who are picking this up, I think it'll be a nice staple piece in everyone's collection. Just for it looks like it has a commanding presence. So for those who get it, very happy for you. It's just that, like I said, it represents something I was never into the whole What If. The only character in the What If series that I would have thought about getting was the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. But even that kind of faded out because there's so many Spider-Men. And honestly, he was probably the only one that I really liked a lot because his suit, you know what it is? Because his suit looked so classic until we got the No Way Home classic suit at the end. You know what I mean? So that one kind of solidified as like the more classic Spider-Man suit. So it kind of failed for me to get the What If version. But like I said, the whole What If series just didn't really do much for me. But as I said, I am really happy with the way this overall visually looks. It's awesome. The only thing I would have wished it was USB, but I know it came out before they were doing all that stuff because USB would have been a really nice touch to it.
Yeah, I agree. And we kind of expect that now, right? We'd like to see them continue to do USB stuff. And like Lane pointed out about the Silver Centurion earlier, it's very interesting that the whole body is USB powered, but the head is battery powered. That's very foolish in my opinion. You know, I'd like to see some continuity there. But well said. And guys, as always, got our boy Insane One reminding us, this looks like the smartest chat around, and I think he's right. So I know you will leave a like and subscribe to the Hot Toys Hotline and this killer panel. If you haven't already, my tapeworm thanks y'all. So yes, guys, if you're here, please consider dropping a like on this video and also subscribe if you haven't already. I would very much appreciate it. Matt says he likes him holding up Captain Carter from the head. Yeah, I love that, dude. I mean, like Ryan said, this figure has a very commanding presence. And the other thing I like about it, it's not a very large figure in terms of his stature, right? We saw him amongst all those other figures. I think it's just right in the perfect spot in terms of scaling. And I think it'll fit in a lot of smaller displays. I think he'll look really good there. So I'm definitely excited to check this one out in person because I think he looks fantastic from these photos. Let's see, 8-Bit Flea is here. He says, late to the party. Hey, y'all. Well, 8-Bit, as I always say, you're never late. You're always on time. Thank you so much for being here, bro. It's great to have you here, and I know you're excited to talk about some of the stuff we're going to be talking about in a little bit, so don't worry. We have so much to talk about. You really didn't miss on anything because there's so much more to talk about, so. 8-Bit also says, it looks awesome. I never got into the what-if stuff, so I think it's going to be a pass for me, and yeah, and I think that's going to be the case for a lot of people. And Rack is so kindly pointing out that he thinks Ultron skipped leg day here. And I think you might be right, dude. I think his legs are looking a little skinny there. His proportions are a little off. So maybe we'll have to get him a gym membership. And CSI wants to go back to the D100 Iron Man. What if they painted it like Mickey Mouse? Dude, so I saw that photo and I thought it looked pretty cool. I'm not going to lie to you. He's saying it's more appropriate for D100. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I honestly, I saw that photo. I'm like, that's clever. Obviously, I think if they did that, people would be even more mad. Those who aren't Disney fans would be like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, I think that would be pretty cool myself. Chris, before we move on from Infinity Ultron, do you have any thoughts on how the final product turned out?
See that, Ryan? He don't forget about me.
See, Chris is always stirring the pot. Always stirring the pot.
No, I'm also not getting this. I wasn't into this line. I know there are people who, do like the What If series, and it's starting to shape up to be, a pretty decent line of figures. So if you're into those things, I say go for it. I know. Yeah. They all look good. They're, by Hot Toys and stuff like that. All the hand-ups. I don't think I've seen a bad one besides a little bit of people complain about Carter, but that's about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is probably going to be one of the strongest releases from the line. I know a lot of people like that Hydra Stomper, but I always love a bit of diecast. Me and Insane One were talking about that earlier. You got to love diecast, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. You need to have. I mean, even you and I have said that. Like, if you haven't experienced the diecast Iron Man, like you need to. It's something else. The best.
It's something else. Yes, I love that lance that he comes with. OG, it's really cool, man. But yeah, guys, there's nothing more else to say about it. I think it looks fantastic, and like Ryan said, I think it's very close to the prototype. Now, OG, you kind of jumped the gun there unknowingly earlier when you asked me about Josie Wales. Real quick, guys, we're going to take a look at the Outlaw Josie Wales. Finally, this figure did go up for pre-order today, as you can see, for a price of $280. I don't know how many of you in here are Clint Eastwood fans. I definitely am. I passed on the Preacher, but I'm not going to pass on Josie Wales. I already do have, excuse me, I was about to say I already have Clint Eastwood. Of course I already have Clint Eastwood. We're talking about Clint Eastwood. I already have Dirty Harry Callahan in my collection. And I do have the Blondie from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on pre-order as well. So I'm really excited to check this one out. And I got to be honest with you guys, I think this is the best Clint Eastwood likeness thus far from this Clint Eastwood Legacy line. I love that. Dying ain't much of a living, boy. That's such a great quote, man. I mean, such a classic film, and I'm so glad that Clint Eastwood films are kind of getting a spotlight shined on them again, because, I mean, you guys know Clint Eastwood is very much up there in age, and to see him involved with this line throughout the entire process was very heartwarming for me, being a fan. I have fond memories of watching his movies as a kid with my grandfather, so this one's really special to me. I don't know, dude. I didn't hear that they delayed this one, or delayed that one. I know he's waitlisted and has been for a while, so I'm surprised some people are still paying theirs off. And same one says, do wish he had a little more wear and tear. He is so clean. Yeah, and I watched the video from Sideshow, and they kind of made that point to where, like, they kind of just have to make a decision and run with it in terms of the look. So I guess they decided to go with a more clean look for him. I do still think it looks really great, but the good thing is if you have a good base like this, there's plenty of opportunity for weathering and kind of roughing up the figure there, in my opinion. But again, I think he looks awesome, and I love that Josie Wales dual wields the revolvers. That just makes him such a badass, in my opinion. So I'm really excited to check this one out. I will be grabbing this one again. The Preacher, I probably won't end up picking that one up, but I think this is a very cool figure. OG said, I said it for the last 2 years that I would buy all 10 figures from a Clint Eastwood Cowboy, so I'm all in. Yeah, I'm certainly all in on this one, dude. It looks really good. I'm really liking how the prototype looks. And again, I have the Dirty Harry in hand, so I could say with confidence that figure is pretty awesome. Is it 100% perfect? No, but it's pretty fantastic. So I'm really excited to check this one out. Wayne says the Man with No Name is figure is my favorite figure I received this year, and I know the best figure Sideshow has done. The body they use is excellent. Yeah, I'm really excited to check that one out. I can't wait to get it in hand. I also have Angel Eyes and Tuco from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on pre-order through 1/6K, because there are third-party versions of those. So I'm really excited to have all three of them together. I can't wait. That's such a beloved film for me, so I can't wait to put that display together. Yeah, I mean, gotta go. For me, honestly, that's tough. That's tough. For me, Dirty Harry has my heart as my favorite Clint Eastwood character, but Blondie is a close second. Blondie is certainly a close second. And Blondie, I would argue, is probably the most iconic. And if you guys haven't seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, guys, you got to go back and watch it. It's such a fantastic film, such a classic. Well, do you, punk? But we're going to move on, guys. I just wanted to briefly show you this. I know the fandom of Clint Eastwood is few and far between, but I'm glad to see some people in the chat are really excited to talk about it. I know some people in the chat here have been waiting to talk about this. Justice Ryan's coming back. Perfect timing.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, it's all good. So guys, you're probably thinking to yourselves, I've already seen this photo before. Why are you showing us a photo of Ken again? Well, I'm about to tell you why here in a moment, but I just wanted to kind of remind you that we did get this little teaser photo, kind of a from the back shot of Ken from Street Fighter V. And the reason I'm showing you guys this photo again is Iconiq just announced, guys, and let me pull up the actual official announcement photo here. They just announced, actually, that Ken is officially going up for pre-order on April 6th.
Yeah, I saw that. That's nice.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for this one, guys. And let me remind you how incredible Iconiq's work was on this Ryu here. I absolutely adore this figure. I'm so excited to check out this Ken. This is one of those figures that I got this year where I look at all of the other stuff I've received thus far, and this is the standout piece. For many reasons. The tailoring, the attention to detail with all the different accessories. You got that beautiful Hadouken ball with the stand, the box that opens up with that backdrop of Ryu's stage. So there's a lot of reasons to like this company, guys, and I'm really excited to check out this Ken figure. If you guys are familiar with Street Fighter, you know Ken is a kind of a very much a counterpart to Ryu and a training partner and a friend. So I'm really excited to check this out. from the moment they teased it, I'm like, I'm not surprised that Ken was their next figure in the line because I think they go hand in hand. You know, you can't have Ryu without Ken, in my opinion. So I'm really excited to check this out. And 8-Bit Flea says, Ken is what I've been waiting on. That's my dude. And give us a Cammy, please. Yeah, Cammy would be awesome. Got a lot of people like CSI wanting Akuma and Evil Ryu. Not sure about the Evil Ryu in terms of if that's on their list. Me, I want a Blanca. One of my favorite characters as a kid was Blanca, so definitely hoping to see a figure of him. It'd be more complicated, and he's got a much larger stature than Ryu or Ken, but I certainly think it's doable, especially with them doing custom bodies. Now, I will say, guys, of course, we're probably going to see the prototype photos in full once this goes live on the 6th for pre-order. However, it does look like they use the same body. So that's obviously good because we know that this body is really nice. I think they did a fantastic job on the Ryu body. So obviously I think they're going to reuse that body. But that's cool with me. I'm really excited to check this out. I can't wait to see the prototype photos and see all the different accessories that he includes because, again, they kind of included really anything that I would have wanted with Ryu. So I'm really excited to see everything that comes with him. But yes, guys, so be prepared. You guys know that a lot of people slept on Ryu and he kind of sold out everywhere, kind of under the radar. Now everybody's scrambling to pick him up, and he's become very expensive so far on the secondary market. So definitely keep an eye out. Another update for Iconiq Studios, guys, that I wanted to point out is we do have an update on Patrick Bateman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we have an update on Patrick Bateman, and this is another figure. I know Ryan is really excited for this one as well. If you're a Bale fan, guys, I mean, come on now. One of the most iconic films, at least in my repertoire of films that I enjoy, is definitely got to be American Psycho. And you can't go wrong with Christian Bale, man. But so we have an update here on Patrick Bateman. Iconiq says, as this is the last week of March, we just wanted to update you all on where we are with our Patrick Bateman figure. We are waiting for a final production figure to confirm the quality in hand and to complete our final checks to make sure we're absolutely sure we are happy with everything. This figure is due to be with us this week, and assuming everything passes final approval, we will start processing orders. For those who have paid a deposit with us on the figure, so this is if you pre-ordered directly through Iconiq Studios, you can expect to receive a balance payment invoice within the next 1 to 2 weeks. For those who have paid in full already, we'll proceed directly to the shipping process. So guys, it sounds like Patrick's right around the corner. So if you guys have pre-ordered him.
And just ahead, I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize, Connor, because I did cancel it originally. And because I moved those funds to something else with the intention of always getting him again. Just FYI, it's almost sold out on Sideshow. I just looked at their website now. They haven't almost gone on Sideshow. So if you are interested in Sideshow, definitely grab it.
He's on almost gone status, you said?
Yeah, he's on almost gone status. He's actually he's blue screen right now on Sideshow.
Yeah, so if you guys want to grab him from Sideshow, keep an eye out. I don't know. I think they may have sold out, but check on OTR Collectibles as well. That's where I got mine from.
I'm getting it literally as we speak right now.
So I got mine from OTR Collectibles. And of course, guys, you got a $15 off code HTH will save you $15 off there if you purchase them from there. And Rack says, my only concern if they stop at Ken, I don't want to buy 2 in an incomplete line. I'll go Storm Collectibles for Street Fighter. If I was a betting man, I'd say they're certainly not going to stop at Ken. Iconiq seems very interested in pursuing the Street Fighter line a bit further. I think they're going to do more. I really do. Dude, yeah. Isn't that every time I think back to that scene, Payton, when he just drops the chainsaw down all those flights of stairs and hits her, it's just so ridiculous, but obviously, he's naked in that scene. He's just got tennis shoes on. It's just such a ridiculous scene. But, yeah, it's such a great film, man. I mean, one of the great classics. But so just wanted to update you guys on that. Moving on to something very exciting, especially for Ryan here.
Do I break it out yet? Do we do it?
I think you got to, man. I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think you got to bust it out.
You don't have to put me on. Wait, it's charging, so I have to, bring it out. We could talk, though, as I'm bringing it out.
And real quick, guys. Chris is dropping you the backtrack, dude. But real quick, guys. Apparently, some people think that this looks like Robert Patrick here. I don't know if I agree with that, but yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. But
no, it looks like a really disheveled Bill Murray. Like it looks like him. His neck though is gone though.
Robert Patrick's got indistinctive ears, and he's very unique in his freaking head shape and ears.
Yeah, I mean, dude, To me, it's like it could be considered like a Bill Murray cosplayer. I could see that. I will say, is it a 10 out of 10 sculpt? No, I think it needs a little bit of work. We're gonna take a look at the full photo of what he looks like with all the accessories and everything included. By the way, shout out to Brita for providing us with that. Oh, yeah, he's powering up, dude.
Oh, you heard that?
Just heard that thing one.
Did you really hear that? I got mine.
Yeah.
Something strange.
City Rider says he looks Latino. I think maybe it's the lighting in this photo. When we pull up the photo with all of his different parts and accessories, man, people are roasting him tonight. OG says this looks like a drunken Bill who got his ass kicked. But if I wanted it, I would get it. Peyton looks like Bill Murray from the 09 video game.
Let's see, here's my.
It's about to look like Ryan.
It's not as bad as people are roasting him out to be.
I don't think so either. And we're gonna pull up.
I was gonna sit here with this sitting in front of me, like there you go.
Yeah, Ryan. I know it's really heavy, so you probably don't want to put it on.
Nah, I'm not gonna put it on right now.
He said I'm not gonna put it on. We got Trevor from 1-6 Shooter in the house. Trevor, what's up, bro? I hope you're doing well. Trevor says it doesn't look that too bad. Maybe just too old. I agree. But here's the thing about this, right, guys? For me, it's like your options are go down the Present Toys line of Ghostbusters or pay thousands of dollars for the Blitzway figures. And for me, it's a very easy decision. I'm going to go the Present Toys route. I'm not willing to spend thousands of dollars on the Blitzway figures myself. That's not taking a hit at anybody who did do that because I know those are great figures. But just for me personally, I'm like, this is a godsend for me, and especially for those who got the Ecto 1 Afterlife, you now have an option for figures to go with your Afterlife Ecto 1. So I know a lot of people are excited about that.
Too?
Sure.
So it's not only like if you want to pay all that money, yes, you can do that. You can put funds aside. You can definitely save for it, sacrifice other figures. Anybody can get those figures. So sometimes it's not always about wanting to put that much towards it. It's also about like, because they're not in circulation that much as far as brand new, you have to remember other collectors don't take care of their figures the way you would or you would want to receive. So if you're paying the thousands of dollars, like you also have to make sure there's no flaking. If there's leather, there's no accessories missing. Like you would want the best bang for your buck if you were going to go for it.
Yeah.
And to me, I usually, if it's something that's a little bit older or has gone that high, if you want to spend the money, you can always do custom sculpts as well. And if you get these present toys, at least you'll know they're brand new, out of the box, sealed, whatever. So that's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, I agree. And 8-Bit Flea says it's still early, so they will probably improve it. And another great point, kind of what I mentioned, 8-Bit says you could tell who they are, but it needs work. I'm definitely getting these from my Afterlife Ecto. And again, it's like people who purchase that Ecto, they're dying to have some busters to go with it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a ton of people pick these up. Let's see. Trevor says they will come around again. Wouldn't be surprised if InArt does them down the line. Someone else would have to do the thing, Trevor, and I'm sure you know this, is Blitzway doesn't do reissues very often. So if anything, I could see them doing like maybe like Ghostbusters 2 Ghostbusters or something from a different film. I could certainly see them doing. But for now, especially like putting hope in InArt to do stuff down the line, it's just going to be a bit, right? Because, InArt's slower with the releases. Again, you guys know I'm really excited for the Harry Potter InArt stuff, and we got that little tease not long ago. It's been like, 4 months, I guess, at this point, 3-4 months. And we haven't heard anything else since. So they're very slow with their releases. They kind of take their time with the releases. So for people that want them now, it's definitely good timing to get these Present Toys ones. Oh, okay. Sorry, Trevor, I misunderstood. Yeah, I mean, trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of companies are kind of salivating at the mouth to release some Ghostbusters because they know this is a really untapped potential in the market. And that's part of the reason why Present Toys is taking a stab at it, right? Because they know. They look at the prices of this stuff and they see people spending thousands upon thousands of dollars for that Blitzway set. So they certainly know.
Are these licensed?
No,
these are not.
Okay.
These are Present Toys, unlicensed third-party figures. Let me back out a little bit so you can
And
see.
some people have a problem with that, which I totally get. I'm like that with certain things.
Yeah.
See, I do want
Figures,
Ghostbusters.
not so much.
I'm not a fan of a lot of third-party But how much are these running for?
We don't have pricing yet. Kit had said last week they'll be up in a few days. It's been like 5 or 6 days since he made that post, so I guess he's just kind of finalizing everything. So we don't know pricing yet. If I had to guess, I would say
I'd want 200 or under.
I mean,
No,
I think you're going to be paying more because they have that
paying more because for these figures. If you look at them, you're not really paying for. It's a basic figure, but you're really paying to make sure they nail the equipment, the proton pack, the neutrino wand, all that stuff,
the traps and everything.
Yeah, like all those accessories. That's kind of where the bread and butter is with these figures. Otherwise, it's just a basic figure. But yeah, I mean, it's really funny how people are okay with third-party figures until they buy originals, and then third parties come out of the things that they own, and then it's like the script is flipped on it, so to speak, like calling them fake and things like that. Like it's just they're third parties. It's just the price is just too high. They command such, and like what you said, Connor, it's because Blitzway doesn't reissue stuff, so they're commanding. Like this is my grail, like the Blitzway 4-pack. Even though it's technically 3, and then
big
Winston's
grail
separate,
for a lot of people.
That is my number one grail. Like not Hot Toys, like 1/6 to have that represented is my number one grail without a doubt. As someone who is a diehard Ghostbuster fan, as you can see, I just it. How do I put this nicely, not to offend people, but I've seen other people, not necessarily streamers, but comments said, well, if you're a real fan. I've seen this. If you're a real fan of Ghostbusters, it'd probably be more genuine to save up the money and buy the Blitzway ones because they're like true to it. And that has been said. And that's coming from people that own them. And I'm like, that's a very ignorant thing, I think, to say, just for the fact of not everyone has $2,000 to drop on figures. That's a mortgage.
And that pack's even more now because of all the hype with Adam
Savage's
Savage's
you lost
video
Harold Ramis passed away. That spiked up the price. I watched it. That spiked up the price.
Ryan, that's also what I was saying, like to other people who've countered that is like, instead of getting these current figures, you're going backwards, but they'll sacrifice getting to save for it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it's kind of a weighing thing.
Well, the reason why
I'm more on your side with it.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because, like, and I'm not trying to flex, but like the Proton packages showed, that cost me $3,000. I built it myself it took me a year to build it. I wanted a replica 1-to-1 Proton pack. Now, does that make me a super fan? Like, oh, because I did that? I'm not discrediting anybody that has the Hasbro packs that paid $400. It's just your preference. That's why I try to use as an example. I know when I built my pack, that's fiberglass, metal, resin. It's a solder. I built it for a year. It cost me over $3,000. That is just because that's what I wanted it to be. You know what I mean? I passed on the Hasbro pack. I was going to get it. I passed on it, but I'm not criticizing anybody who bought Hasbro. It's because people often forget, like, we're not paying each other's figures. Like, we have our own bills and stuff to pay. So as someone for me who's a diehard, I would love to get the Blitzway ones. I would love it, but it's not realistic for me to save up that kind of money for those figures to drop over 2,000 plus, especially when the new movie comes out next year. I think Afterlife really birthed a whole new generation of people who are into Ghostbusters, or rather rejuvenated people's love for it. And so you have people even in the 1/6 scale community, how many people were posting pictures of their Proton packs? It wasn't 1/6 scale related, but everyone loved it anyway. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everyone who got their packs were still okay to share that information because everyone loved it. But for me, it just didn't work out. For this, I'm trying to weigh that, Blitzway's not going to make those figures again, nor is anybody else within a reasonable time frame. I would say within a 2 to 4 year time frame, I don't think you're going to see something of Blitzway quality unless Blitzway, which I've been hoping for, they put out the Ghostbusters 2 set with the navy blue jumpsuits that they wore in Ghostbusters 2, like the alternate suits. So it's something different, but not the same.
Right.
Or they do Afterlife.
They would do.
We need that with Rick Moranis.
Well, no, because he wasn't the original 4. He would be a nice addition, but he was an extra at the end.
No, for Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, Ghostbusters 2 I'm talking about. He wore Egon's suit at the end and was outside. I mean, that's just, that'd be nice to have that as an additional. But the core 4, you could have them in the navy blue suits when they first reunited. As a joke, I even said they could be wearing Christmas hats because it was during Christmas that they were wearing them. So, like I said, outside of that, I think these are perfectly fine. The head sculpts, every third party needs work. I never think that. I mean, except for I think this one's perfect right here. I think this is a great. This Cesar Romero is awesome, but yeah, there's time to improve. I do want to see a little more info on them. I want to see. I heard that the packs light up. I like to see what the packs look like. But everything looks. It looks totally like if these are on the shelf, someone's gonna walk by and like, oh damn, you have the Ghostbusters. That's what is going to look like, man. I don't sit there and overanalyze. I think they'll be like around that price range, which is fair. I don't think it'll be 300. That's a lot because the original pack was 7.
Honestly, I could see 245, 250 on these.
That's pushing it because the original 4, if you wanted the original 4, that was like 800 on Sideshow.
Yeah. I would pay 230. I would pay 230.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to ask you, and they literally have doubled now their price.
Yeah, so Rack brings up something that a lot of people have mentioned, that he has braids. I don't know if it's just a really weird angle.
And he has like wrinkles under his eyes. Like his is rough.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a very prototype sculpt to me. And yeah, I'm not sure about this sculpt here. I'm not really sure about it at all. To be honest. Oh, and another thing, and I'm glad that
they have a license.
Yeah, Trick or Treat got the Ghostbusters license, so
I
it's
think
possible
they got the
they'll
license
take a
to do
stab at
more.
it.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they. I mean, once a shooter don't. I know that they also are doing like a lot of Halloween stuff.
It's probably props most likely.
It's like Halloween props and things like that. The last I read, because the minute I saw Trick or Treat, I'm like, yo, we're gonna get 1/6 figures, and I think it was more heavier on the side of like Halloween props and things like that. I mean, I'm not gonna rule anything out, of course, but nevertheless. But like the Winston sculpt needs work, and like I think that when it came to the original Blitzway, like Ray was really good and Egon was really good. And I'm a little precarious to see what those look like in terms of sculpts wise. But for me, the suit, the proton pack, all the equipment, it all looks good. I mean, there's obviously a little nitpick things that you can look at, things like that. But I mean, overall, I'm very happy with everything that I see, especially if the price range is good, for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've told you this before. I'm expecting probably about $900 roughly for all 4 from Present Toys, which again, it's a lot of money. But when you look at it versus what you'd pay for the Blitzway set right now, it's a considerable discount. Again, you have to kind of weigh price to quality. Obviously, the Blitzway is going to probably be the more quality product. However,
I would love Hot Toys to do it, like Shooter said. I mean, once a Shooter said, but I just
I mean. We know how it is with Hot Toys with classic franchises, though. It's like you kind of have to hope and wish that it'll happen.
But I mean, with these figures, though, you like I said, it's one of those things where we talk how much they are, but we also, I think, lose sight of like how many years gap there's going to be probably for another legitimate set. So like these could hold up for quite a few years in a collection and be very satisfactory. And especially if someone ends up getting I hope they redo the Ecto 1, and a clean version. I hated the Afterlife version. So like if we get a clean version for the new movie, like we even heard Denobi, who was like anti third party. He said, I'm getting Winston to put him in the Ecto 1. So like if you're someone who has the Ecto 1, you could use all 4 of these and put them in the car, and you could take the proton packs and actually use the gurney on the back of the car and actually load it up with the packs. And then you have the Blitzway fully assembled. I mean, because so you could do non-assembled and assembled. I don't see it as a total loss for people who are, saying anything about it. I mean, I just don't think we're going to get something of as good a quality for quite a few years. So I think these are very good to hold people over personally.
I hope they do more than Blitzway did as far as like accessories and whatnot.
Yeah, it looks like they're mad. Like that proton stream is that's what's kind of worried. The proton stream is exactly what Blitzway had. It just pops onto the end of the thrower. So it's like, it is exactly what they're giving you so far.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of copied and pasted a lot of the stuff from Blitzway. And it looks like the sculpts are a bit different. And Trevor kind of brought this up earlier. He's like, I don't have a problem with third-party stuff. What I do have a problem with is when they steal others' work. And I think that's a very fair play. And
I think that's why the sculpts aren't exactly the same.
Yeah, I think the sculpts are different, and I do want to point out, Sean, before you make your point here, I love the screaming sculpt with the little walkie-talkie here. I think this is so cool.
That reminds me of that exactly the scene in Ghostbusters 1 when he's in the hallway and Slimer's going after him and he's yelling into the radio. That's exactly what
I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna display mine like this. I love this sculpt. It's not 100% there, but it's cool. It's really cool. I'm not gonna lie. But go ahead, Sean.
Trumbull Dust brings up a good point. If Disney buys Columbia, maybe out some Hot Toys for Ghostbusters.
That could be the miracle play right there, huh?
That could be. I mean, there's been people have made comments about it's just Bill Murray. That's why Blitzway hasn't, made the Ghostbusters 2 or reissued, was because Bill Murray wants too much money. I don't remember who said it, so I can't.
Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd.
Quote. Okay, and Dan Aykroyd. But it's like,
there's more.
I'm just kind of like, I mean, I would consider these, but at the same time, too, it's like, okay, if I can get the actual licensed Blitzway stuff for $2,000 or pay this, have to pay $1,000 for this, I'll grab the other $1,000 and pay for the Blitzway. I mean, that's my way of looking at it. However, do I really want to pay $2,000 for that? No.
Yeah.
But I do want to see a real licensed company come through. However, I am considering buying these, and I'm not a third-party buyer.
Yeah.
And I do like the screaming portion or face. I like that too.
Stan's really cool.
Yeah. But my concern is if they just make these two and then they don't make the rest.
So I think Kit has said that they're doing all four.
Actually,
no, he told me that. Yeah, no,
he told me too that he said that they're doing them in batch. He says these two are
yeah.
first, and then they're going to release the other two. Like they're going to space them in a couple weeks or something like that. Or
yeah. So it's safe to say we're going to get all four. Now, what my curiosity is Winston going to have two sculpts? Are the other two going to have two sculpts? You know what I mean? Because we have two sculpts here with him, and I hate to like drop the hint here, but I'm seeing this sculpt here of him yelling about. They're definitely going to give us a Slimer. Like I feel like they're going to. Maybe it'll be like dropped out. Can you guys see me now?
Are you freezing?
Yeah.
You're freezing.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, it just dropped me out for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I could see them doing a Slimer. This sculpt kind of tells me that maybe they're considering doing that Slimer in it, and it does look like they're kind of grabbing a lot of Blitzway stuff on these.
The Proton pack is exactly Blitzway.
The pack, when you look at the belt, it looks very similar. The gloves, the jumpsuit even I think looks similar. Not 100%, but it looks similar. Rack says, I will say, as someone who has the original set, if you want these, there's nothing wrong with it. I believe everyone should have the opportunity to enjoy some. Hey,
agreed.
We appreciate that, dude. And I feel the same way, if, for example, like if I have the Marty McFly here from Back to the Future Part 1, he's now waitlisted, and some people decide to buy the Present Toys one, I mean, if you weren't able to get that one, or if the Present Toys one's just a better budget item for you, more power to you, it's what you want to buy, and it's your money, so I have no problem with that either. Payton, yes, I think I did enter the Matrix for a second, and I was pulled quickly back out, so I think I'm good now. But yeah, we don't really have to spend much more time on these guys. We have a few more topics to cover before we close out the stream. But I will say I'm very excited for these. I'm glad to see that there is excitement throughout the community. Chris, I didn't know if you wanted to share any thoughts on this before we move on from the Ghostbusters. No, Chris isn't a big Ghostbusters guy, but yeah, I'm really excited for these. And guys, of course, we'll let you know when they go up for pre-order. We'll drop it in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group as well as the Instagram and such. So definitely keep an eye out. Don't you worry, we'll let you know. But something that I'm really excited about. You guys know I've been crying about this since the beginning of time. But I'm happy to say that we do have a Mr. Freeze coming from Mars Toys, and not only that, but Mars actually hinted at doing not only the suited Mr. Freeze, but the robed Mr. Freeze. So kind of the best of both worlds. This has been one that I've been excited to see from any company really for a long time. Jazz Inc. has mentioned interest in doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze. They've kind of talked about the licensing and such they've mentioned with WB. But guys, this has me really excited. And I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, this is unpainted. This is a completely raw print of the sculpt. But I think it looks pretty good. I really don't have any really complaints about the likeness. I think they could tweak a couple things, but overall, I think it looks pretty solid. And this is kind of a dream come true for me in terms of dream figures in 1/6 scale. Ryan knows how many times I've mentioned Mr. Freeze so many times. It's like my mentioning of Mr. Freeze is like his George Clooney Batman. Those are figures that we would love to see. And for me, this is really special, man. And I'm so glad that that Mars was like, you know what, I'm just going to give it a shot. And he just dropped the photos of the sculpt the other day, and he said it's a work in progress. But again, I think the likeness looks pretty good, even though it's unpainted. Obviously, we want to see it painted and everything, but I'm really, really excited for this, man. But Ryan, I know you have some thoughts to share on this one.
No, it looks good. I think that what could make it, it's hard because obviously you need to see a painted one. And if I could put anything in Mars Toys' ear, I would say, please give us a George Clooney, because that would be pretty amazing. But anyway, I think it could be a lot better than people probably think, because I know a lot of times when you're dealing with like realism and like skin tones, it's hard painting. But if he's more of that bluish ice, he was really just blue.
Yeah, he's blue. Yeah,
he was like a Yondu, but just on a different level of color. But like what I mean by that is like an alien-esque type of color, like a non-realistic. I really think that could elevate the figure and kind of disguise if there's any inaccuracies. It could really save it, so to speak, because you're not worrying about painting it as realistic.
Oh,
with,
yeah,
like,
for
skin
sure.
tones. So if you're doing it like blue, but obviously there's different tones to it, I think that could really elevate the sculpt. So it's really exciting to see something like this. I know I've been lobbying for this thing for such a long time, so I'm so glad that Mars Toys finally listened to me, that I wanted Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
right.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's me, baby. I've been on that page. You know what else I've been on the page about is I've been crying about the Doc and Marty and the Biff. So it's like, guys, I like this comment here. Ekwan says Mars is making dreams come true. And yeah, they are, dude. I mean, seriously. I mean, you could see the Cesar Romero 66 Joker that Ryan has sitting there. What a fantastic figure for one of his earlier releases, right? Because Mars hasn't put out that many final products quite yet. But just such a fantastic figure, and I'm so excited to see what else they come up with.
They're the people's champ right now.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, what a beautiful figure, Ryan. For a third-party figure, it's such a fantastic looking group of sculpts that he comes with. I love the tailoring. I think the tailoring is really nice. Oh, Trevor, don't you dare. Trevor, look, Trevor, come on. We know, Trevor, we know, trust me. We know Joel Schumacher's films aren't the best, but it's this nostalgia, right? The goofiness, the stupid plot points. That's what we love about the Schumacher films. Come on, Trevor. Now, Trevor, and Trevor, I'd agree. The Schumacher films are the worst of the worst when it comes to Batman, but if you grew up watching them like I did, there's a nostalgia factor, right? There's a nostalgia factor to it.
And what if it came out today?
Oh man,
it wouldn't have the same effect. It wouldn't have the same effect.
Wait, it wouldn't even come out today. What are you talking about? They wouldn't even release that movie.
But ask the same question about RoboCop. You know, and films like that, a lot of those films wouldn't have the same effect today. It's of course catered to the time, right? But I very much am really excited about this. And Trevor, like I said, I totally get it when it comes to the Schumacher films. They were horrible, but they have their own corny nostalgia. And I'm a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, so like someone else had mentioned, that he was the best part of the Batman and Robin film for me is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze, man. So
12-inch Moose Stream doesn't sugarcoat it, so.
No, Moose Stream. We know you don't like Schumacher, bro. We know it. Trevor says I paid to see them 2 hours and $15. I'll never very get back. That's true. I'll buy that for $1. I love that. Definitely want a second grinning head sculpt with this figure. Don't you worry, Kaiju. I already dropped that little diamond. Get it? I already dropped that little diamond over to Mars. I sent him the photo. I'm like, dude, please do this. Please do this. I'm like, this is essential. If you're going to do the robed version, I want hands and I want the diamond so you can have him grinning with that giant diamond in his hand. Like, that's a must. It's a must.
You know, they could at least make a couple of the goons, too, for Mr. Freeze. Dude. With their face all covered up and everything. That would be sweet.
Speaking of goons, another one they really want, I've seen a lot of people ask about it on Mars Toys, is Bob from '89 Batman. Everybody wants Bob.
How do we not get Bob at this point? Like, that's not right.
Yeah, everybody's been begging for Bob forever, dude. And for justice for
Bob.
Rightfully so. I know, right? It's
Bob. Come here, Bob.
You're my number one guy.
Sean, you sound just like Jack Nicholson.
I try.
Get to the freezer. I love it. That head sculpt looks cool. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, how corny was this movie? Arnold Schwarzenegger had the corniest lines known to man, but it's nostalgia, man.
It's frosty, baby.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Dude, that say what you want. That was a heartwarming little scene. It really was. I like it, dude. Come on now. I just love Arnie Mr. Freeze. I really do. This guy has me so excited. Yeah, see, Rock's like, Bob. Yeah, everybody wants Bob. Bob, give me your gun.
I'm gonna need a moment alone, boys.
Look at it like this. Schumacher nearly destroyed Batman. Hey, another thing we have Schumacher to thank is he forced Keaton to drop out because Keaton didn't like the scripts and he wouldn't change them. So that's another thing we have to blame Schumacher for. But hey, now we're getting the glorious return of Michael Keaton as the Cape Crusader in the Flash film. So I'm excited to get to see him again. You're not sending me to the cooler. I love it. All right, everyone, chill. Dude, come on now. But yeah, guys, I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see the sculpt painted like Ryan said. I think this sculpt's really going to come to life with that blue paint. And you guys know I'm going to be following it the whole way through. Yes, dude, I would love to see an Uma Thurman Poison Ivy, and I've seen a couple other people mention that on the Mars Toys group, so maybe that's one that's on his radar. Rip Bob, he was the number one guy. He certainly was the number one guy. Yeah, dude, come on. And I will say this, if we do get our George Clooney Batman, he better come with the Bat credit card. That is a must. That is an absolute must, in my opinion. Another thing, guys, that you guys may not know is this week was quite the week for Last of Us figures. Real quick, Mars Toys, again, is actually producing a Joel from the Last of Us HBO TV series. This is not his head sculpt. It does. I do think he should paint a little bit more gray hair into it. This is not his head sculpt. He didn't make this head sculpt. He is producing this figure for a friend of his. But I think the head sculpt looks great. I will say I think there needs to be a bit more grays within the hair, but this is just a test paint. Just him showing us this sculpt painted up, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. Not much more else to it. This is all we've seen from Mars thus far. He showed the 3D scan of the head sculpt, and then he showed us this painted up version. Going along with that, we actually do have a figure on pre-order for Joel from the TV show. And I'm pulling it up here on 1/6 kit. It's called The Last Father from Toys Era. Now, I will say, for me, the sculpt is not 100% there. I don't think it's bad. But when I look at the Mars Toys one, yeah, it's just a little off. I think it might be the nose for me.
I just sold my Pascal sculpt. So,
well, to be fair, he does look a bit older in The Last of Us, so it wouldn't have really made total sense. I'm getting a little echo here. Is that coming from Sean? No, it's not coming from Sean. Is that from you, Chris?
I don't know.
Hopefully it stops. But I just don't think this is 100% there. Because, again, the mouth and the nose combination... Oh, I think it was Ryan. The mouth and the nose combination, I don't know. Something's just throwing it off. Now, I do very much like the tailoring. I think the tailoring looks good. This is from Toys Era, so the releases have been hit or miss.
His face looks swollen.
So if you have a link or something, Furbo, to share, I saw a video put up from 1/6 kit showing off the sculpt, and it did look better in the video. But I don't know if I've seen any actual updates. So if you have a link to that, definitely share it because we'll take a look at it. 8-Bit says that doesn't look like Pedro. That looks like Pablo. Toys Era, not acceptable. So Toys Era has done some good stuff, but it's hit or miss, right? It's either it's good or it's mediocre. To be honest with you, though, I will say if this is all we got, I don't think it's horrible. I really don't. I think the outfit looks good. I like how the Bat Pat looks. Overall, I think it looks good. And I do like the seamless arms. I love that. This is a great shot here. Ryan actually took a shot of his Mando, and he made a joke like, oh, it looks like they copied me, basically.
No, someone sent me that photo. They sent me a photo of my Mando in the water. They're like, huh. I was like, interesting. That's interesting, you know.
Yeah, I thought that was funny, but yeah, KTH says the eyes are kind of wide set. Yeah, I could see that. That's not Joel. That's Vincente Fernandez. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think it's like the worst sculpt I've ever seen. I do like the seamless forearms. That's definitely a huge plus in my opinion. I love this. If you guys are a fan of the Scream movies, this will remind you of that Buck. What is it? A one
Buck knife. I think it's a 120 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
he has a 120. This isn't a 120 here, but I think you're right. I think he has a 120. This might be a 121.
Dude, have you seen those in person? They're nice.
I have one.
Ridiculously.
I have one. I have a
freaking long, bro.
I don't have the same model as Ghostface, but I have I think the 121. I think.
To get stabbed by that, bro.
I know that would be rough. I think getting stabbed by any knife though would be rough though, Chris. I like how they have this detail here, broken watch. I mean, again, I do think it's a cool figure. I really do. Were they saying that's real wood? Did I miss something there? Of course, it's not letting me go back. It said wooden on the gun. I wonder if that's real wood. Let's look at the description here. Let's see. Does it mention it? No, it just says rifle. I swear that photo. Let me see if I can find that photo again, because I thought it said wooden. That would be cool. I'd be down with that. Real wood on the gun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Sheepskin leather, real wood, and die cast. That's kind of clever. I'm not going to lie. I do like that. That is cool. I'm not going to lie to you. It's Burt Reynolds stunt double. Everything from the neck down is good.
Dude, if I saw that gun on like Monkey Depot, I'd probably grab it.
Yeah, how cool is that, dude? I mean, the fact that they're using real wood, that's really cool, man. I do dig that. That I do like to see. But again, overall, I don't think it's a terrible figure. I'll be honest with you. The sculpt's not 100% there, but if that is all we got, I wouldn't be totally disappointed. Now, I do really like the sculpt from Mars Toys, though. I will say I much prefer that sculpt. I would say like that sculpt, let's say they just made that sculpt and called it a day and put that on this body. That would be like the perfect scenario, but definitely really cool. Again, the sculpt's a little bit off, but I think this is neat. I don't know if you guys would be interested in picking this up. Me personally, I am after a TV show set personally. I'd prefer that over the video game myself, but that's just my personal preference. I really like Pedro Pascal, so I would love to go with the TV show set, but that's just me. And Peyton saying the forehead looks a little too big. But to go along with this, guys, we don't have a painted prototype, but we did get an update from Toys Era. We do have an Ellie sculpt in the works, and I'm not going to lie to you. This looks pretty good. I will say this does look very close to the actress. I definitely dig this one for sure. Yeah, this is a good-looking sculpt, and this is definitely, I think, closer than what we saw from the Joel sculpt. So I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I'm excited to see it painted up. And maybe I'll mix and match. Maybe if I decide to go with the Mars Toys one, I'll get this to go with the Mars Toys one if he doesn't do Ellie.
And you know what, man? I'm actually very surprised because it is HBO and they're doing the Game of Thrones. I'm surprised neither of them were actually done.
Yeah, like 3-0. I'm surprised they haven't taken a stab at it because they have all those HBO licenses.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I honestly thought I could see them taking a stab at it, but they've been pretty quiet. They're focusing on other things.
But they're also very slow. I mean, they just gave you another... what's his name? The one you just reviewed on your channel. I'm having a brain fart.
Oh, the Hound?
Yeah, they just... I mean, they had one, like an old one, but like they're just starting to get like the end of season 8 or something.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible from them for sure because they have interest in a lot of random IPs, but I'm just not fully confident in it. I got to see more from them because they're focusing on, and rightfully so, they're focusing more on stuff for their territory where the figures are made. And I understand it. Like Asia, a lot of that stuff they're interested in.
Yeah. I still want House of Dragons stuff.
Me too. I'd love to see a Damon. Peyton, I say this, I say this, again, with InArt, they move very slowly. I mean, we've only seen one figure released thus far. So it's like, I'm not going to put my faith in InArt to do these figures because it's going to be a while before they even come out, you know? And like the hype is here right now. Yeah, really. And the hype is here for me right now. I'm on a high from the show ending. I really love this first season of the show. So it's like, I want them now. I want to lock in a pre-order now. So this excites me, you know, this excites me now. So I'm not going to wait for InArt personally, but if they do it, I'm sure they'll knock it out of the park. Kaiju says 3-0 has been very quiet. No new G.I. Joes announced, and the Stranger Things figs are few and far between. Agreed, and not some of them not so hot, as you and I both know. There's a 3-0 event in Tokyo at the end of April, hoping for some new stuff there. Me too. I really hope they take a stab at some different stuff. Like the Game of Thrones, I still want that mountain figure that they just showed. The Season 7 Daenerys, like those were cool looking figures, so I'd like to see them bring those back out. Guys, one more thing regarding Last of Us before we move on to a few more figures I wanted to show. For those who are looking for the video game stuff, I'm happy to say that Lim Toys has officially teased with this very blurry teaser. Believe it or not, this photo came from Lim Toys. They have teased a video game version of Joel and Ellie. So, 8-Bit Flea, who's saying he much prefers the game characters, here you go. Lim Toys, and we know that they've done some great work thus far. I just pre-ordered their Nathan Drake. They're working here on video game versions. So for those of you that prefer the video game versions, nice. So you're familiar. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think these look really cool. Obviously, these are very blurry sculpts, but they look very close to the models in the game. And I think I have confidence in them considering their Arthur Morgan looked very close to the game. And so does their John Marston. I can't wait to get those in hand. Craig says, I'm waiting for the Lim Toys version. Yeah, I think a lot of people have a special place in their heart because obviously the video games, that's kind of where it all started, right? So I think a lot of people definitely are interested in these video game versions first and foremost. Again, for me, it's just like I really love the show. I'm kind of on a high from the show, and I love Pedro Pascal as an actor, so I'm excited to check out those show adaptations myself. And 8-Bit Flea says he's a big fan of the game. Yeah, they're fantastic games. And I know a lot of people, when it comes to video game characters, these are up there for some of their favorites. So I'm sure this is very exciting for those that like the games. Yeah, and Craig, it's great to have you here, by the way. Lim Toys has been doing some amazing stuff. And the fact that you look at like their Arthur Morgan release, for example, like the amount of stuff that figure comes with. Nathan Drake, another example, amazing amount of stuff that those figures come with. I'm really excited to see all the accessories they dream up. But yeah, definitely really cool that Last of Us is getting so much love right now. You gotta have the show to thank for that for sure. A few other figures actually just got listed on 1/6 kit that I wanted to show you all real briefly. Let me pull up this link.
Hopefully
here
it's
real
not
quick.
shot with a toaster.
Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't. You never know. So real quick, guys, those who are Michael Jackson fans, we do have a new 1/6 scale smooth criminal version of Michael Jackson. I think the sculpt's pretty good. I'm not hugely sold on. I don't want to say pretty good. It's fair. I think the hair is not the best in my opinion. It is a really cool look though. This is one of my favorite looks from Michael Jackson, so I do think this is a pretty cool figure. It's relatively inexpensive. I don't think the tailoring's terrible from what I'm seeing here. But it's cool to see another Michael Jackson figure. We don't see these very often lately. I know InArt is working on those. Speaking of InArt, I know InArt has mentioned doing a couple looks for Michael Jackson. Those are what I'm really excited for. I can't wait to check those out.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pass. I'm probably going to wait. I don't think this looks all that great.
Oh, Fad. I'm going to have to... Fad, I can't read that comment. That is messed up. Too soon. I'm going to drop the too soon on that one. But yeah, I thought this was really cool. Vegas Strip Michael. Man, you guys are funny, man. You guys are roasting Michael Jackson tonight. Next, guys, another really interesting one that kind of came out of nowhere. We have a Harvey Dent. Not sure if I'm really sold on the sculpt here. And me personally, like, sure, this is neat. I don't know if I need a Harvey Dent in my collection when I have a Two-Face. That's really what I want for Harvey Dent. But I thought this was pretty random, but pretty interesting. You'd have a Harvey Dent here.
Doesn't it include the Two-Face sculpt I saw? Thought it did.
Let's see. Let me scroll through and see.
I swear I saw that.
Don't give us hope, Chris. You better hope he's got that Two-Face sculpt.
It was like in the full where you saw all the accessories. Like
that would be cool. That would be cool. I will say the revolver looks a little bit short based on the Hot Toys one. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, right there.
I wonder if that's a recast of the Hot Toys one. It looks very similar. That's cool. Chris, I didn't know that. I will say I do love the podium and everything that he includes. That's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm curious of the price on that one. Considering it has two sculpts. Let's see how much this guy's going for. Let me zoom out a little bit because I zoomed in to see those photos. I mean, $194 for all that stuff. You get an alternate head sculpt. You get that podium, those flat. I think that's pretty cool.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't have a complaint about that in terms of the price. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, Chris, thanks for pointing that out. I didn't know he came with a Two-Face sculpt. That makes it a little bit... I like how you have all these photos of just Harvey, and then at the very end, they say, oh, by the way, you get this. Maybe it's because they're still working on it. I don't know, but that's interesting. I didn't know about that. That's really cool. I agree, City. It's definitely a bit goofy. Rack, don't worry. I have the photo pulled up in my tabs. I'm going to show it at the very end. So yeah, Rack actually sent me a photo of a really cool Sister Act Whoopi Goldberg Mary Clarence custom run that's going on right now, and it looks really
snap.
good. So I'm definitely going to show that at the end. Don't worry. Kaiju says Daft Toys has been for the Nolan trilogy what Mars is doing now for the 66 Batman IP. And 12-inch Moose Stream says I'm getting it. Yeah, Peyton, I wonder if they did recast some of the stuff. Like I said, the Revolver looked a little bit short to me. I have the most recent version of Hot Toys 2.0 Two-Face. I don't know. The thing that I really like is the freaking podium, dude. That's just so cool to me with the flags in the background.
That's what I like too. Didn't Hot Toys come with the coin and the glass as well?
So yeah, the Hot Toys comes with the coin. You have the Harvey Dent button, like the campaign button. You have the glass with the whiskey or bourbon, whatever it is in it.
Yeah. So it's pretty close.
Yeah, so there is
you got
some
a glass
crossover
there.
here. Yeah, there is some crossover. Again, that podium is really cool to me. I do very much enjoy that. That's cool. But yeah, it's cool to see he comes with the Two-Face sculpt. I didn't know that. That's really cool. Let's see. Matt says, I believe in Harvey Dent. Do you know what the podium is made out of? Let's see if it's mentioned here at all.
Looks
I imagine
plastic.
Yeah, it looks like plastic to me. Yeah, it doesn't mention Minecraft with Mike. I think that was a typo. Minecraft with Mike. Interesting. Well, that's interesting. Minecraft with Mike. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then finally, guys, now, let me start by saying I'm not blown away by these head sculpts. However, come on now. Like, if you're a fan of Shaun of the Dead, how cool is this? Now, the figures that I was looking at long ago were the Sideshow ones. Believe it or not, years and years ago, Sideshow did a set of Shaun of the Dead figures. They did Shaun and they did Ed. So to see another company taking a stab at a Shaun of the Dead figure is really cool to me.
They spelled Sean wrong.
Well, that's how it's spelled. But I think this is cool. I think this is cool. Is it 100% Simon Pegg? Not really, but I don't think it's horrible. And he does actually include a decent amount of stuff. He's got the vinyl. I love that they included that. Of course, he's got a pint of beer, because his plan is always to make it back in time to go to the Winchester. So I love that he has all these different, and he's got the flowers, dude. It's clever, man. It's really clever. It looks like, that's interesting. It looks like where he's doing the fake zombie hands from that one scene. It looks like they're swap out forearms. Yeah, it looks like they're swap out forearms. That's very interesting. I guess because it's at such a harsh angle, it made more sense for them to do the swap out forearms. The City Riders having a blast with that. Fat Gadget says, do you guys think there's more characters from the movies and video games being made than ever before? Third-party companies are bringing the heat. I do.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. And again, sorry, I didn't mean to pull your comment down. Again, especially like Limb Toys, Nathan Drake, that figure looks fantastic. I had to pre-order that one. It just looks so good, and all the different accessories and the swap-out forearms. They're Red Dead Redemption figures. We have another run of Arthur Morgan's. You have John Marston on pre-order. They showed off the head sculpt for Dutch not long ago. So I do agree. And someone had mentioned, I forgot who made the comment. Someone had mentioned that there were, I think, the CC Toys did those Grand Theft Auto 5 figures of Michael and Trevor. And
Trevor.
They did those figures.
GTA 3 back in the day.
That was a Sideshow release. Yes, there was a
I
Sideshow
love
3.
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah, there was a Sideshow Grand Theft Auto 3 figure, and that's actually a pretty expensive figure now.
Yeah, I saw that. That has some money on the aftermarket. Yeah.
That guy from
with
the
video games, though, what I really want to see is them touching back, Hot Toys touching back on the Arkham line.
Mr. Freeze would be really cool. I know I love Mr. Freeze, but Mr. Freeze would be really cool if they took a stab at that one.
Some GTA figures.
Yeah, I mean, I want a Jason Todd Robin.
That would be cool.
And a Tim Drake Robin, too.
8-Bit Flea, it's Limb Toys. So Limb Toys, if you go on 1/6 kit, he still has them up, I believe. You can get Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan's on a second run, so people already have him in hand. Also, you can get multiple different extra sculpts for Arthur Morgan. Like I ordered the mid-beard sculpt because that's my favorite look. They also have one where he's, as Arthur progresses later in the game, he starts to get sick. So they have a sickly sculpt as well that you can get separate from the figure. But yeah, Limb Toys. So I believe it's the Gunslinger and the Outlaw. I think that's the name of the two figures. And you can get those from 1/6 kit. Mondo did Mr. Freeze. So Mondo, they did an animated Mr. Freeze though, right? I think they did an animated version of Mr. Freeze. Sean was talking about the Arkham video game series. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that was an animated version.
I'll take some Halo or Call of
Yeah,
Duty.
dude, like a Master Chief from Halo 3.
Yeah, because
Not
the
the
Master
from the
Chief
show,
that's out
not from the
there
show.
is definitely not from the show. Forget the show. I stopped watching, bro.
Rack said, "It's all good, dude. It's all good, dude." Yeah, Craig, I've heard a lot of great things about it. Yeah, and the accessories, the amount of accessories that Lim Toys does is impressive. Like the stuff that comes with the Red Dead figures is mind blowing. Like you look at that price and it's like $285 for a third party figure. That's pretty high. But then you look at the display base, all the different accessories it comes with. Like there's a lot of work put into that. My boy Eddie Rodriguez, it's been a minute since I've seen you, bro. I hope you're doing well. Eddie says, just watched Book of Eli yesterday and would love a Denzel figure from that film. Yeah, dude, Book of Eli is such an awesome film. I love that scene where he goes into the saloon and just absolutely annihilates everybody. It's such a good film, dude. Haven't talked about Book of Eli in a while. But finally, guys, real quick before we close out here, I appreciate Rack for showing me this. This is a really nice looking figure. So if you guys have ever seen Sister Act, here's a kind of a custom run of figures that's being done. And Rack, you'll have to remind us who is doing this in case anybody wants to get in, if it's still even open. But yeah, I think this is really cool. This is cool. This is a classic film. If you guys are a fan of Whoopi Goldberg, this figure very much like put her on the map and then some. Or excuse me, this movie. So I think this is really cool. Insane One says, "Be well, stay safe." Likewise, bro. Thank you so much for being here as always. Trimble said 20. Yeah, dude. And then some for sure. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all because I thought it was cool and Rack shared that with me. But guys, we had a lot to talk about tonight. I know it was kind of all over the place. Oh, there we go. Siberian Customs. Thank you. So check out Siberian Customs if you're interested in that. But guys, I know we're kind of all over the place tonight. So thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us, talking about a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything tonight. So definitely an awesome stream. It was great hanging out with you guys as always. Kaiju, I mean, there's still some Whoopi Goldberg fans out there. Beskar Kid in the chat. I don't know if you were here earlier, if I'm just now seeing it. It's funny because Beskar, we were talking about Infinity Ultron earlier, and someone had mentioned, and I also forgot to pull up that comment, that maybe Ultron could take some tips for you on his leg day that he's clearly skipping because his legs are so skinny. So maybe you'll have to reach out to Ultron and give him some tips. But yes, guys, great stream as always. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you're here and you're new, consider subscribing to the channel and drop a like on this video. I would very much appreciate it. Guys, just to update you a bit on what I have done on the channel. Of course, as always, I've got some videos planned for reviews. So I do have the Clone Pilot that just charged and the Mando Ahsoka. I probably won't do a full review on the Mando Ahsoka because I kind of missed the boat on that one. But I will be doing a review on the Clone Pilot. And I have some other stuff shipping very soon that I might do a review on, so definitely stay tuned for that. And I have some other like topic-related discussion videos planned as well, so I look forward to sharing the new stuff that I have planned with y'all, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. And Fad Gadget says, smash that like. Great stream. Thank you so much, Fad, for being here as always. And again, guys, as always, thank you so much for being here. We very much appreciate it. It means the world that you guys spend your Thursday evenings with us. I know there's a lot going on. There are a lot of different streamers are streaming. But you guys choose to spend your time with us, so we very much appreciate you all for being here. It really means a lot, so thank you so much. And Control-Alt-Elite says, thank you for an entertaining and educational stream. Well, we appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for being here, as always. And thank you, as always, as well, to our wonderful moderators, Matt. Of course, Manny couldn't make it tonight because he's out here making us jealous meeting Bo-Katan. So Manny wasn't here tonight, but he was here in spirit. Manny, I hope you had an absolute blast meeting Katie Sackhoff, and I can't wait to see the stuff that you bring back with you that you got signed. But I know you're here in spirit, bro, so I hope you had a lot of fun. I can't wait to hear about it. But OG fan, thank you so much. Sluggin, thank you so much for being here. Sluggin, I completely forgot to pull up what you had asked me earlier. We'll talk after the stream. I'm so sorry. There's just so much going on. I completely forgot to bring it up, but we'll talk after the stream. After the stream, I appreciate it. 8-Bit Flea says, it's easy. This is the best stream, and people are not fighting each other. Hey, that's what we
fight
go
off
for
stream.
here. Yeah, we only fight off stream right now. Later, KTH, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being here. But seriously, we don't like to encourage that here. You know, positivity is the way to go, and I don't like the back and forth stuff. I just like to talk figures, you know. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is that we can share our thoughts and opinions as collectors respectfully and get along. And I'm so proud to say, and you know, Insane One always says we have the smartest chat around, and I truly do believe it. I mean, I don't ever see people arguing or fighting or being negative. It's just always positive. Positive, excuse me. So I very much appreciate y'all, as always, for being the best chat around, as Insane One would say. And thank you so much, OG fan, for dropping all the links, bro. We appreciate you. So yeah, absolutely check out Mr. Mom Collectibles and everybody else's links being dropped in the chat. My boy, Eddie Rodriguez with the $1 super chat. Thank you, Eddie, so much, brother. And again, it's great to see you here. I've missed you for a bit. I haven't seen you in a bit, but I'm sure you've been busy, bro.
Wow, Eddie. Thank you for your special contribution to the Hot Toys Hotline. As we're trying to wrap up, but we're going to make this all about you now. Yeah, that's right, Eddie Rodriguez.
And
this is for you.
Eddie, you're a sweetheart, dude.
Eddie,
I appreciate you, brother.
Oh, yeah, we got more. Eddie's bringing it in with another $5 super
You're bringing out Macho Man Sean Savage. That's what you're bringing out right now.
He needs.
We got the
belt
collecting
with me
madness
right now.
over here in one corner, and we got Mr. Mom in the other. Who will decide? Eddie Rodriguez does with that super chat.
Thank
That's
you,
right.
Eddie. We appreciate
Thank you,
bro.
Eddie. We appreciate it. And that super chat is going to go to a special contribution into a wallet of the Hot Toys Hotline. And that will go to the next reward that someone will get from the Hot Toys Hotline. And remember, soon we will announce the winner of the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian.
Sean, we gotta announce the giveaway for. Look, guys, thank you, Sean, for reminding me. We will. I promise you, next week. I got all week off, so next week we're gonna announce the giveaway. 100%. We're gonna put up the video. You're gonna be able to enter all that. Eddie's loving it, Sean. So thank you so much, Eddie, once again. And hey, dude, sometimes
He paid
I lurk
for my
too.
services.
Exactly.
I'm cheap.
There you go.
$1.
One $5 or one $1 super chat and one $5
it's
sticker. That's all you need. But thank you, Eddie. We appreciate it, bro. And I'm just messing with you. It's all good if you're lurking. It's just great to see you and great to be able to chat with you. Since Chris has got his belt ready, we're gonna go around the other way this time. Chris, anything new going on the channel? Do you just want to show off the belt? Like, what do you got going on, bro?
WrestleMania is happening this weekend. That's why I'm showing it more. Got the We the Ones on. Only thing new coming to the channel, like I said, if you caught me on airs or Tuesday earlier this week with you, I have that DC Direct statue of Black Adam. It's 12 inches, so we're going to check that out, see what that's about in waiting for the Hot Toys. And yeah, I'll just be posting shorts. Catch me on the channel. We're so close to 600. Think we're about 16 away, 15 or 16 away. So right around the corner. I'm excited for that. And thank you, Connor. You're the best host. So, you know, you say we're the best. Chad, this is the best stream, dude. You're an amazing host. And same to my other panel members. And as well as the chat. Love talking with you guys on here. And some of you come to my channel as well. And I appreciate that and everything you guys do. So
absolutely, guys. Thank you so much, guys, as always, for not only supporting me, but for supporting my boys here. We very much appreciate it, and I love seeing you guys kind of trickle it over on their channel. So, yeah, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Collecting Madness. Let's get Chris to 600. Chris is the most humble guy ever, and he does great content over there, so definitely check him out. Good night to you, Eddie. Thank you so much, bro, for being here. Eddie got his 15 minutes of fame. Thanks to Sean. But moving on, Sean, I know you've been waiting on a lot of stuff. Are you still kind of in that waiting queue? I know you got some clones today. Anything you got planned moving on for the channel soon?
So I got 3 more clones arrived today. Nice. And I'm gonna probably do some shorts just to, you know, produce something.
Yeah.
And then I have still waiting on Ahsoka. So final charges went out for that. I paid off the clone pilot as well. They took the money for that and just waiting on when that's going to get, you know, released. So I have a feeling it's going to be released soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's on April 1st.
It's got to be, right?
that,
I mean, it's if they're charging everybody now, it's got to be right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. No word on the DeLorean either. No word on Luke. And I don't know if anyone has received a shipping notice from Sideshow regarding Luke.
Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. Again, I got my Mando Ahsoka. I got Clone Pilot. Some people got Jesse. That's all I've seen. I haven't seen anything for Luke.
Yeah. But one thing I'm really surprised about is we don't have one announcement from Mando. And we've had 5 weeks of season 3.
Yeah, and then
that's kind of weird.
Nothing from Andor too, right? It's like, are they just saving all their chips for May 4th? Like, what's going on here, right? It's a little quiet on the Star Wars front.
I mean, like right now for this year, we have 94 announcements that are yet to be released. So we've had, after last night with Ultron or Infinity Ultron, there's 94 announcements left that are scheduled to be released this year. So I don't think we're going to get that many. No. And some of them, they're expected to release from October 2023 through March of 2024, but it's still within 2023. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, we had a huge, a lot of people are saying that it's been dead and everything else. But in the first quarter of the year for 2023, we had 17 releases. That's a lot.
Yeah. They're moving. They're moving for sure.
And that's not, typical because, last year, my computer wants to cooperate with me. All right. So last year in the first quarter, we only had 9 releases. And then in 2021, we had 6. And that's January, February, March.
That's a big
And we had 17 releases already this year in January.
Stop playing
February,
with Howie,
March.
guys. Stop playing with him.
So they're producing more. It's just, it was further apart. But I think they're going to start pushing a lot more out. And at the same time, so we're going to have to pay for items. And then also, with whatever gets announced, we're going to have to put down payments on as well.
I agree. It's a different time, Sean. It really is. And I see people talking about this whole mass release conspiracy, like, oh, the stuff's sold out, but we're going to get a mass release soon, guys. It's like, just use your context clues, pay attention to what we've been teaching y'all, and kind of make your own decision there. Because and we said it, guys, even stuff that's older, they're older pre-orders. Mando Ahsoka, Mando Luke. Sideshow is waitlisting these figures already. So it's like, you got to pay attention, use your backup sources, keep one eye open. If you're going to keep one eye closed, keep the other one open just in case. But well said, Sean.
And another point too on that, everyone's saying that the waitlist is a joke, that they have all this stuff coming in and they're just trying to get people to buy this and that. Okay, Sideshow went from having one warehouse to having to rent 2 additional warehouses. Sideshow doesn't want to pay rent for warehouses anymore.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to do what they used to do anymore. They can't afford it. It's too much of a loss. That's why we're getting all these deals.
Yep. And like Kaiju says, lest we forget, there were major distributions in production that Hot Toys couldn't control that are no longer the same. And fewer releases were a natural result of that. And yeah, well said. And of course, there's no FOMO when you dopo, baby. Well said. Well said. If you dopo, you ain't got no FOMO. Peyton says the M1 is coming, dude. I firmly believe that. But
I do too.
But yeah, I mean, well said, Sean. Always dropping the knowledge, and we love when you update us on the numbers. And I agree, Matt. It's going to make things very interesting in a good and a bad way, that's for sure. Disruptions. Okay. Sorry about that. Well, I mean, it kind of fit. It kind of fit what you said. It still fit, But moving on to Ryan. Ryan, I know you just got your 66 Joker today. And guys, Ryan is nearing 1,000 subscribers. So If you haven't already, consider subscribing to Mr. Mom Collectibles. Of course, there's links in the description, and our wonderful moderators have been dropping them in the chat all stream. So definitely check out Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles. We got to get Ryan to 1,000 and Chris to 600. So those are our current goals. Of course, your boy, I'm on my way to 1,250. That's my current goal, and we're smooth sailing there. So we very much appreciate y'all for supporting us for sure. But Ryan, what do you have going on in the channel?
Yeah, I think I'm like 30 subscribers away from 1,000. I think it's like 30, 33 or whatever it is. The number keeps ticking. I got a couple more mods for the DeLorean. I dropped a couple videos yesterday or day before, and then today I dropped another one. So just doing that. I got the 66 Joker. Gonna do like a short on that. Probably the biggest thing is I started putting the links up on my Instagram. I'll put them on Facebook, but I'm actually gonna do my first live stream on Monday at 7 o'clock. I have, going to test the waters of doing a live stream on my channel. So we have a topic in hand about kind of like the graveyard figures and kind of like top 5 figures we want to see, resurrected from the graveyard, so to speak. So I thought it'd be an interesting topic. I know, Connor, I think you're going to be my training wheels and kind of help me out through it, doing a live stream.
If you're lucky, man, if you're lucky, I'll be there.
The star power might be needed. So, but yeah, so I the channel's growing, so I'm gonna start dabbling and doing some live streams, just some topic opinionated kind of things, just like a topic and talking about it. So I'm gonna do that Monday at 7 o'clock, and might have some other people pop in if available. So I'll post the links on my Instagram and Facebook when it gets to it. But we'll see how it goes. Could be a train wreck. Could be fun. We'll see what happens. But we'll take it in stride either way, right? You got to jump in the water sometime. So we'll see how it goes.
For sure. So. Yeah, so definitely check them out, guys. And again, we got to get our boys 600 and 1,000. And OG dropping the links, guys. So yeah, as always, head on over to the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group. I think we're like 5 or 6 members away from giving away a $25 gift card. And as always, as I always say, we have a great messenger chat over there. So head on over and hang out with us in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group. And always, also as always, if you're on Discord, I have a Discord, Star Wars memorabilia and lore. It's a great place to talk about not only Star Wars collecting, whether it's 1/6, 3.75, 6-inch, but a little bit of everything. And all talk is welcome when it comes to collecting. So head on over there if you're on Discord. As always, we got a discount code to 1/6kit. Save $10 off your purchase with code HOTLINE. That is a one-time use purchase. Again, I don't make any money off of that, but it's a great way to save on your purchase. And also OTRcollectibles.com, code HTH for $15 off your purchase. And as far as I know, you could use that as many times as you would like. So save yourself some money, guys. Right now, with all this stuff coming out, you got to make those decisions, but it's good to save some money where you can. So definitely take advantage of those coupon codes if you can. But that's all we got for you guys. Once again, thank you so much to each and every one of you. As I always say, even if I didn't see your comments saying goodbye or saying thank you, what have you, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful weekend. I hope you guys have a smooth sailing day tomorrow at work for those of you that work on Fridays. And I can't wait to talk to you guys next week on Tuesday for next week's episode of 2.0 or Leave It Alone Live. And then once again, you'll be seeing us 3 times next week. Because we'll be live on Ryan's channel on Monday. So can't wait to see you all there. Definitely come out and support and hang out with us on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday next week. Can't wait to see you all. So thank you so much for being here, guys, and we will see you next time. Take care. And again, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and keep on collecting and buying all this amazing stuff because it's real fun. I know it sucks draining your wallet, but that's what makes it all worth it, right, is having that collection in front of you. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time.